Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
Guess who's back? Back again. Drew is back. Tell a friend. Austin's not, because he's dead. Austin's not. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your host, Hunter Smith, and with me today is just Drew Alderson.
Hey, what's up?
We could not get Austin off his lazy fat ass to come in here and do a podcast with us.
Yeah, we couldn't.
I mean, what does that say about Austin?
I don't know. Sounds like he's a terrible person.
Today we're going to be discussing Marvel-named theme necessities. This is a topic that I've had requested a lot. We originally did it back. We did the generics first.
Yep.
And then we did DC, and everybody's been wanting Marvel, so I felt like this was a good week to bust it out. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about best build, lots of click spoilers, and some comics. And since we had a bright idea on the way over here from our venue, since Austin's not with us today, we're going to call Austin, and we're going to try to trick him into doing the podcast with us, even though he's trying to get out of doing the podcast.
Yeah.
He's supposedly sick. So what we're going to do is when we get to what we played, which we're going to do first, towards the end of it, we're going to call Austin and try to trick him into discussing what he played and how he did and everything. And we'll see live on air. We hold nothing back. There's no tricks. We hold nothing back on the Dial H podcast.
Nothing.
We just go off the dome.
Off the dome.
So we'll see how that goes.
You know that show Under the Dome? We're off the dome.
We're going to start with what we played. Wednesday we had a very cool event, which was the ROC. It was not the very lowest, which I think is the campaign level we did. I think it's just called qualifier level event, which the winner gets, I think, 10 player points.
Yeah.
A map. You get like 10 player points for first, 5 for second, 3 for third and fourth, and then like 2 for fifth through 8 or something like that. And then you get like 2 maps and quite a few dice. I think top 8 get dice.
I think so.
And anyways,
no, actually, Philbo only got dice, didn't he?
No, I got some too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But anyways, we had 25 or more people show up. I think it was at least 25.
Yeah.
If not more.
And there was one guy from like Iowa.
Yeah. I don't remember what state he was from. Somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And
he's a nice guy. He listens.
Yeah, he was very nice. And shout out to him. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now.
I can't either.
But he was a really nice guy. And it was just so cool to have so many people on such a small ROC level event.
Yeah. That
we hadn't promoted a whole lot, really.
No.
Outside of our local, group of guys. The format was really weird. It was 500 points, modern age, no team bases, no colossals, and no vehicles. And it's also Highlander, because at the venue, everything is Highlander. So it was a very strange build to build for. I didn't really have any clue what I wanted to play. I shot some teams around. I originally had a team with Phantom X, Spiral, Ultron, and Book plus Split Lip and some other stuff, where you basically flood the field with drones who spawn and then free move from their thing to the portal, flip through the portal, then still get dropped the hammer for free, because this is all still at the beginning of the turn. It's all still free actions. And then Phantom X is adjacent to the portal, so every time he spits out Eva, she immediately goes through the portal, flies over, outwits, blasts somebody. So it's kind of a control lockdown team. I really wanted to play that, but I wasn't very confident in some of the matchups. So I ended up going with the team. It was funny because me and Austin playtested the night before, and I had a team of M10 Iron Man at full 225, Scarlet Witch from AVX at 100, who we'll talk about here in a minute, who is just so amazing, and Donald Blake and Sharon Carter, and Wasp with the utility belt.
Who's really good.
And she's very good. And I played against Austin that night. He was playing the Iron Man Iron Patriot duo, the new one from Invincible Iron Man. And the rest of the team was very similar to my team. I think he had Donald Blake and Sharon, and he had one other piece. He had one other small Avengers piece, and then he had a couple pogs.
Yeah.
I know he had one.
It was the mud golem.
It was the mud golem from Fear itself.
Yeah.
And we play tested against each other, and he had the rings, the power plant on his team. And the power plant was something that I hadn't seen anybody play yet and hadn't really got much time to fool with.
I didn't even know what it did, honestly.
But my thoughts were, I have M10 Iron Man who ignores everything from a resource, so I'm thinking, if I can't take down a book or a power plant team, which is assigned to every figure on their team, if I can't beat Austin's team, then what the hell's the point of me playing M10 Iron Man? So we play test it. First round, we play on the map that I choose, and honestly, he should have won, but he made a silly mistake, and I blasted his ass for it big time. I ended up winning that game. I was like, okay, next round, I want you to pick whatever map you want, and I'll try to beat you under the worst circumstances. Couldn't even touch him. He had stealth and had a way to see through my stealth, and I didn't have a way to see through his, and it was just a blowout. And I saw that he was able to take down my M10 Iron Man, even though he could only deal it a 50-50 chance of even hitting it for one.
Yeah.
Because the rings have so many options. The resource, I've been saying, it's limited only to your imagination. You have so many possibilities and can put them on characters who cost next to nothing. And you can give a 10-point Pog TK.
Yeah.
You can give it end cap. You can give it free smoke cloud that puts your team in stealth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also silly that you don't lose the rings until you clear that piece. So if you give, say, the free smoke cloud stealth ring to a cheap little, say, a National Strange,
yep,
that Strange never has to do anything. He never has to clear. It's free.
It is.
So you just paid 14 points to move a stealth around the board for free every single turn and get -1 defense attack on the people, on the opponents who are sharing his smoke cloud. It's just nuts.
It's
He
ridiculous.
was using outwits to outwit Iron Man's indom and then incapping him to bypass the trait because the ring has incap. One of the rings is incap, and then after you hit, you bury around the piece to lock them down where they can't do anything anyways. There were so many options on that team, so I was like, you know what? I want to take off Wasp, assign the ring resource, if I can get a hold of all the rings, if people will bring them for me, and I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Because I just thought in a format that varied with teams, at least the ring resource gives me options. No matter what I go up against, there should be something in one piece of my Swiss Army knife, which is the ring resource, that will help me in the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never played it before, and I was freaking out to find rings. I was supposed to get 2 from one guy, 2 from another guy. I ended up missing one crucial one that I needed, and then Ricky was supposed to bring me 2, and he still hadn't shown up, and it was like time to do our build sheets.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw it, I'm just going to go with the Phantom X team. So I started to put my team up, get my Phantom X team out, start to fill out the top of my sheet, and Ricky walks through the door, and I was like, oh, what should I do? Should I play missing one ring, or should I just play the freaking Phantom X team that I haven't practiced at all? And blah, 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 what should I do? And I was like, screw it, let's just go for the rings. So I go for the rings, and then somebody walks in who has the other ring I was missing. So it all worked out. I finally, at the very last possible second, right when the sheets had to be turned in, got my last ring and got it on my sheet, turned it in. I ended up going undefeated.
Yeah.
The amazing thing is that M10 Iron Man already has energy explosion, 8 range, 2 bolts, and a 6 running shot. Like, he can move 6 squares when he running shots. One of the rings is TK. One of the rings is Psychic Blast.
Yep.
Another ring is Force Blast that increases knockback damage by 1, and the knockback damage is freaking penetrating.
Ooh.
The combo of energy explosion that is penetrating from one ring, and then that causes knockback that's increased by 1 and is also penetrating from the second one was just too much for most teams that I played. Coupled with the fact that if they were assigned a resource, they couldn't really hit my Iron Man that hard.
Yeah.
First round, I played against Superboy Prime with the utility belt and a Batmite and a rescue, and it was pretty easy for Iron Man to handle with that Psychic Blast to chew through Superboy Prime.
I bet.
And I would give Sharon the TK ring, let her TK the first 2 turns, push on to Perplex, and then now she has Perplex as well. And it was just nuts. Scarlet Witch wow. I thought that piece was good going into the tournament. Leaving the tournament, that piece is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You have the trait which negates team abilities. I would just pop that at the beginning, and even though it causes her to push, Donald Blake is sitting there right beside her. He heals her right back up because he has an 11 and she has like a 16.
Donald Blake's one of those pieces that is...
He only needs to hit a 5 and Switch has prob. So how am I not going to hit a 5? So I would do that, get rid of their team ability, heal her back up, and she's just so amazing because not only does she have Perplex, Support, and Prob, and the Mystic's team ability, but she has 8 range Sharpshooter.
Which is stupid.
Then you put on the fact that she has Precision Strike. I was using her to ping impervious pieces from outside of their range, like big 200-point pieces that didn't have 8 range. And she's just... I'll perp Iron Man's damage up, I'll prob him into this hit, and then I will also peg you for 1 from across the map, or I'll see through 3 of your guys and sharpshoot the guy in the back and hit him for 1, even though he has super sense. It was just nuts. She's just so good and so versatile.
Yep.
And second match, I faced a team that was basically almost the same thing as my team. It was Power Plant with the War Machine Prime. Rescue, Ironmonger, the bigger one, not the 2.0, and another Stark Industry. Oh, Split Lip. And the ring resource. And his plan was similar to mine. TK out the duo, give them a double power action, let them do whatever they want. Running shot, he could hit me in my starting area.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So I just got lucky. He got to go first. His initial barrage missed Iron Man. He killed Donald Blake. The next shot, he missed Iron Man. He killed Sharon, I think. Or no, he killed 2 of the Pogs. I also forgot to mention I ran 3 Mud Golems, because those things, if you guys want to look at those things on HC Realms unit section, 20 points for plasticity and super senses. And poison. They're nuts. And like I just said, I could give them rings and just keep 1 back to free stealth my entire team each turn.
Yep.
Or to TK.
The TK.
A 20-point
ridiculous.
TK piece. I mean, it's just nuts. So, I got lucky that he missed his initial barrage.
Yeah.
Iron Man had the Psychic Blast ring. He hits War Machine for like 6 or 7. Next turn, he brings all his guys up. I give Iron Man the Force Blast ring. All his guys are about 2 squares away from a wall. I running shot out to a spot, perp my damage all the way up. Running shot out to one spot. I aim at 2 separate packs of enemies with penetrating energy explosion with 2 bolts and force blast that deals an extra 1 that's penetrating. So I hit the initial targets each for 3, and then splash onto 2 other targets for 2 pin. So that is now 8 damage. Then they all force blast into the wall and take an additional 2 penetrating for a total of like 16 penetrating damage in 1 shot. Completely killed the team.
Hunter came at that moment.
I really did. I was like champagne showers.
Champagne showers.
It was turn 2, or it was my second shot. 2 attacks.
Ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. The power plant is amazing. And then my third round, I played against the one piece that I was absolutely the most worried to fight, and that was Silver Centurion.
Yep.
You guys need to be on the lookout for Silver Centurion. The thing is a threat, even in 300, but especially at higher point levels. And I had Psychic Blast and Pulse Wave on Iron Man, neither of which can hurt the damn thing, and it had Infinity Gauntlet. It was Harry, and he was playing a defend-a-ball team, but he screwed up at the beginning, and he didn't put Doctor Strange in the right place to give defend to the people who needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I TK'd up with a Mud Golem, and running shot, Psychic Blast, Energy Explosion, killed 4 figures, I think, in 1 shot, because I knocked them back into a wall again. They all took an additional 2, and I think he had his Spider-Man, Doctor Strange left, and then the Silver Centurion. We proceeded to kill each other's support, and basically neither of us could kill the other. I couldn't kill Centurion because of his super senses from the gauntlet, shape change and impervious on his dial, and the fact that I can't Psychic Blast him. He couldn't hit me because he's assigned a resource and I have the trait. So towards the end of the game, I managed to disintegrate beam him and got rid of the gauntlet. But by that point, there wasn't very much time left. I did manage to chew through him. I had him on at least halfway through his dial, but time ran out, and I barely won on points. So I went undefeated, but there was another player, Philbo, another friend of ours.
Yep.
He went also 3-0, and he had a few more points than me. So he got first, I got second. I got a map. That's the main thing I wanted. I got 5 points, a map, dice, and some other stuff. But I really wanted that map. That map is sexy.
It's so nice.
I'm going to bring it next week because I cannot wait to play that thing.
Bring it.
It's on a mouse pad type fabric material, and it's so smooth and sexy.
I just want to be able to print maps on that.
I know. I'm sure there's a way. I mean, I'm sure we can find somebody who can do that for us. Maybe we can talk to old Scott. Doesn't he do some kind of printing stuff?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
That dude's a genius.
Scott, you're a genius.
He can whip up whatever we need him.
Love you, Scott.
So I had a great time. It was really fun to see all these weird teams that people brought.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what team did you play, Drew?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on.
All right, I'll talk about it. This has been the worst week of Heroclix in my life. But I played Absorbing Man with
the Uru Forge limited edition Absorbing Man.
Yeah. You know which Absorbing Man. The only one that matters.
Yeah, true.
Absorbing Man, Blue Beetle, the one from DC 10th that has Mystics, and the Scarab.
Yep.
Who is ridiculously good.
Oh, yeah.
There's Scarlet Witch, Switch, not the one from AVX, the classic.
The Coca-Cola classic.
Coca-Cola Scarlet Witch classic.
50 points.
Jinx, Gauntlet on Absorbing Man.
Oh, Lockheed.
Who
can fly and has mystical keywords. So you had a mystical theme going on.
I did have a mystical theme team. So I won map 100% of the time.
I was going to say, how'd you get 90 out of three rounds?
Anyway, 0-0-3. I got 8 points the entire tournament.
Well, you did play some very slow players, I will say that. And your team takes a long time to build up.
It takes a very long time to get going.
So what's the idea behind your strategy?
Okay, so basically you put a lot of Mystics on. I play Pandora too, so I completely shut down their ability to prop.
Right.
Which was very good. Play Pandora if you don't. So the whole idea behind this was, and you came up with the idea because I wasn't sure on what to do. It was a Mystic theme team, and I would sit Absorbing Man back, and roll the gauntlet till I got on Godhood, and then proceeded to poop on kids. But unfortunately, that didn't seem to go to my favor.
Yeah, the way the team works is you have mystical and you have +6, right?
+6 to 3.
So you're gonna get mapped most of the time.
You're gonna get mapped.
I noticed that the freaking Chaos War negative zone map, the terrain
so
around
good.
the starting area can't be destroyed.
Yeah.
So and there's only a 4 squares wide. So all you do is you throw out a barrier, and they have to go through the barrier. If you double barrier, then they can't get around you. It's
Correct.
impossible. So I was like, well, that's a nice place to spin the gauntlet for Absorbing Man.
Unfortunately,
you want to give away on the podcast the whole trick with the light and the heavy objects?
Okay. If you
Dial H members only.
Dial H sign up for Dial H Premium and you get this trick. Basically, there's a ruling out there that Absorbing Man can have both a light and heavy object on his card, which none of my opponents seemed to Austin knew it, so Austin's the one who told me. So when I played Austin third round, it was just like, I'm going to pick up these objects and stop. Okay, that was it. But everyone else was like, judge. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes.
While the judge reads it for the 5th time and sees, yes, he can in fact do it.
I'm not salty about that. I'm salty. Just first round, I went up against a barrier team that had way higher mobility than I did, so I didn't really stand a chance. It was
Phantom X,
Iron Pharaoh.
Yeah, who basically does the same thing that Phantom X does with the Eagle.
Two aim something. They got aim
Yellow
renegades.
Or blue.
Aim renegades. The enhance.
Yeah, renegade.
Aim renegades. Who else was on this? I don't really care. Point being, I lost badly. Not really badly. I could have won if I got up there because.
Yeah, time ran out on you before you could get in their face and smash some bitches with
it was
Godhood and whatever else you wanted.
It was so slow.
The thing to note with Godhood, with Absorbing Man, I was like, if you can get that sucker to Godhood, pick Shape Change each turn. I was doing the math.
Yeah.
If you give him, he has Shape Change, then Super Senses from the Time Gem, and then the defense trait. That's if they hit his +3 defense at all, which his values are low. He's 15 top dial, 16 after that, I think.
16, yeah.
So they have to hit an 18. That's if you miss Shape Change in the first place. Then they got to hit an 18. Then they got to miss. Then you got to miss Super Senses. Then they got to roll exactly what you roll 1 through 6. I was calculated out. It was like less than 5% chance, or no, it was worse than that.
And then if you get really frisky with it and get Zemo on there, you can give him scrolls.
Yeah, I was like, initially I was like, give him scrolls, Shape Change, Super Senses, then his thing. He'll never get hit.
He'll never, but
The problem for you was time on rounds.
Yes, but the second game, the problem was I got extremely unlucky. So I'm sitting back, I'm rolling dice, I'm like, I'm getting this gauntlet up to fucking God. But I got it up there, and then I noticed his Thor was in, it was AVX Thor, and it was in a really good position for me to butt love. And I was like, he's in this right corridor where all of his people are cut off from me, so I'm going to move Absorbing Man up, right?
Yep.
When I moved up with Gauntlet, I landed on Flurry. You
probably thought at that moment you're going to teach some lessons.
I was going to teach some lessons.
You're going to put it in a pooper.
I was going to put it in a pooper. And he hit me for 5. There. Lay my dice. I roll them.
So you missed Shape Change?
I didn't have it.
Oh, you weren't at that point yet?
No.
Or you didn't pick it. Did you pick something else?
I didn't pick it.
You forgot to pick it.
I forgot to pick it.
Damn it, Drew. Alright. Did you miss Super Senses?
I didn't have it at the time. I was on Space Jam and... Space Jam!
Why didn't you stay back and get the Godhood?
Because this was perfect.
You got out of the...
He wasn't going to hit me.
You took his bait. I bet you he was baiting you.
No, I was in the perfect position. Everyone else was in this room. You know, on Negative Zone?
Yeah.
They were all in that room, and he was right in this little corridor, and I had all my support in perfect position.
Should have waited till you was at +3 Shape Change and Super Senses, man.
I got greedy. But,
you got greedy. That's alright, though.
Well, he was pooping on the Black Beetle, or Blue Beetle.
He was black after he put it on. Anyway, so you rolled a 5 and you got waxed. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about it is about Absorbing Man is you can get unlucky.
See, if they're doing 4 damage or 3 damage or 2 damage, it's like, okay, I'm going to take it.
Good luck getting that again.
Yeah.
But
if
5 will wipe you right off.
So that Thor just so happens to be at a 5 damage. And then he proceeded to mop the floor with my rest of my team.
Yeah.
Made Blue Beetle black, as we all know.
So today we had AVX month 1 at the dugout.
Oh, my Jesus Christ.
It was 500 points. Well, actually, real quick, let's talk about some of the other ROC teams that we saw that did well. Just at ours. Yeah. Just some of the ones that stood out. The first place was an Asgardian typical book team.
Yep.
It was Valkyrie, Tyr, 30-point Loki, a Troll, and one other piece.
Was it Shulk?
No, it was all Asgardian. It might have been Heimdall, but I'm not for sure.
No, it wasn't Heimdall.
Okay, I know he had Tyr, Loki, a Troll.
It was Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, and there was one other that I'll find here in a second. But it was your typical... Oh, Split Lip. That's who it was. Your typical book team, And he got first with the most points. I got second with my team, which I already talked about. Ricky got third with another book team. It was a variation of his Void team. Everybody used to run Void and Wonder Woman back in No Man's Land days. He had Void, Wonder Woman, and some other stuff. I can't remember. But, the whole typical carry Void. Void carries her body. Wonder Woman charges after because she can. Yada, yada, yada. I would have loved. I wish this was 4 rounds because both the team, Philbo's team and Ricky's team, would have been freaking easy pickings for Iron Man because Ricky's team, one energy explosion would have waxed the whole fucking Void would have been, her whole posse would have gotten wiped out in one hit.
Did you just say posse?
I said posse, Posse. And then Philbo's team would have been some easy psychic blast pickings. Plus, they couldn't hit me very hard because they had Iron Man.
Philbo had a miraculous run.
So I would have loved to play against either one of those if we went to a 4th round. What was a Shi'ar team made it really far? It was like Gladiator, Lalandra, Starbolt. It was basically just, a bunch of one of the guards that I liked, the 27-point guys. Yeah. It was basically just a standard Shi'ar team with a good player, and he got pretty far. I think he was like second highest 2-1s. Harry, the Silver Centurion defense ball team I was talking about, that got 4th. And we saw a couple of Absorbing Mans, you and a couple other people. Mm-hmm. We saw Scott play the Thanos capture team, which I was extremely scared to face. That team would have absolutely destroyed me.
He won his first round pretty handily.
I know. I thought I was going to have to play him. And I was like, this matchup is just easy. It's cake for him. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
He had Thanos, he had Chanos, and he had Leash with the belt, and Jinx. And if he would have played my team, he would teleport over Iron Man, Leash would capture him, boom, game over. I mean, I have 3 support pieces. You know what I'm saying? And some mud golems.
It'd be ridiculous.
They're not going to do anything.
As well.
Yeah, he would just capture Absorbing Man. Doesn't have to
the
worry
-2 damage on Leash is -2 defense on Leash is
and Leash has super senses anyway. So even if you can somehow, like, there was a way if I wasted all my perplexes and I burned a ring and I TK'd Iron Man out, I could hit him in his starting zone.
Yeah.
But then you take into account the fact that Leash has super senses, so it would have been a tough matchup for me, big time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really glad I didn't have to face that. But yeah, we saw a capture team. Actually, one of the teams that got top 8 was just a simple book team with the 300-point Thanos and Split Lip and just like one other random piece, like it rescue. I don't remember what it was, but we saw. There wasn't very many ring teams. It was like me and Austin and Jarrus. I think,
but they all did pretty well.
But they all did pretty well. Austin did. Austin went 0-3 as well.
No, he went 1-3 or 1-2 because he faced me last round.
Oh, that's right.
Really even try and play. I mean, I did, and we sat, and he kept throwing dice at me, and I was like, "Oh, let's try and see." Then he ended up breaking my gauntlet, and at that point, I was like,
So he disintegrated the gauntlet, and he rolled good enough on Absorbing Man. Did he match the roll?
No.
Or he just like slowly.
I think he got a roll off.
So, anyways, you know that Austin. You can't play a piece that depends on luck against
that
Austin.
Seriously.
He made a deal with the devil or something with Mephisto like at birth, like
this was
to bless him with improbable luck.
This event was an eye opener because going into it, I'd been doing pretty well, but I just can't play a team that's outside of my comfort zone anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I need to come up with Absorbing Man's good, but I gotta come up with next rock. Drew's bringing it back.
Oh, I meant to talk to our venue owner today about doing an ROC at our venue.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he'll be down with it. I'll talk to him this week.
He probably.
But I'm planning on getting one at the beginning of the year, doing a real small one, and doing just a $5 buy-in so everybody can play.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, it was a blast. I highly recommend, if there's any store owners or judges who listen, I highly recommend doing an ROC, not just because I do the podcast for them and I like the guys who run it, but Tannerus, that's who else Philbo had on his team.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah, it was very good.
And everybody there had a good time, even the people who didn't do well. It was just a great atmosphere. Yeah. There was a lot of hype for it. Everybody was excited, and it was just a blast.
I just wish I would have got to play test more.
Yeah,
because I had no playtesting going into this at all.
Yeah, I wish I did too, but I just got lucky enough that I played. I'll put credit where credit's due. I really did play really well. Honestly.
You got second place. You did it.
I really did honestly play some good clicks.
Send your Hunter Smith fan mail too.
Anyways, so yeah, that went well. We just did AVX at the dugout. We did 500 points. everything, it figures only, figures from the starter set only, and all the figures have to be from the same starter set. And it went very well. We had a huge turnout. Austin didn't go. I was hoping somehow, like, I was kind of, part of me wished that we would have too many people where he would get a Phoenix resource. Oh. He was like, hold me a Phoenix resource. I was like, okay, but if we have more than 20 people somehow, you're not going to get one. I'm going to give it to the people who are there. We had 19 people.
19.
One more motherfreaker would have showed. Austin would have got his Phoenix, and I would have laughed.
Next time, show up, please.
I might just throw it away and say we had 20 people just to spite.
He'll listen to this, but yeah.
So, anyways, I played We both played X-Men, right?
Yep.
How did you do? What team did you
run?
I
went 1 and 2. I played Cyclops at 100, Magic at 75, Emma at 100, and Namor at 225. It's a good team. I had really bad rolls today. I just wasn't. I guess I didn't have good juju after this past week, but it was fun. I mean, that Cyclops he's too good. It's too good.
I played 150 Cyclops. Then my other 3 pieces were all at the lower points. Magic at 75, Colossus at 125, and Magneto at 150. And I gotta say, that that Magneto is a lot better than I had initially given him credit for when I looked at his dial.
Is he? Because I thought he was kind of...
And, no, he is very good. And the Colossus lives for days. That dude, he has 8 clicks. For 125 points, he starts at click 3, so you got what? You can get hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to hit him for 6. He has either impervious or invincible on, I think, every click pretty much. And he deals massive damage. He busts through terrain when he goes through it. He starts off at like an 11 and 4 with super strength, so he hit for 6.
Yeah.
And he's a good piece. I do recommend him. And that Magneto traded energy shield. And I stayed in hindering the whole time. I was at 20 from range. He has Pulse Wave. He does only have a 10 attack. And the bad thing about the X-Men team is they don't have support like the Avengers do. The Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
I mean, you take on the X-Men side, you have little to no support, and on the Avengers side, you have a broken support piece. So it's kind of not fair.
But I will say the X-Men support is not as bad as you're thinking.
The Magic was pretty good.
The Magic's good.
Emma has a lot of powers.
Emma's ridiculous at 100 points.
I had to play against her today, and she's really good.
Her 100-point dial, she starts with Outwit, and her defense ability is Impervious, Combat, or not Combat,
Shape Change,
and Exploit Weakness.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sexy.
Yep, and then if you play the even the higher point version starts with like 7 range outwit, mind control. Yeah. So she is a really good piece. I had the first game I went up against the Avengers team, and Thor waxed my ass hard. I missed like 4 7s in a row. I couldn't hit a 7 to save my life. And I was like, there's no way I can win. I somehow eked out like a really close win.
Yeah, that Thor, the thing with that Thor is that Cyclops is so good because I can just like 8 range. I mean, he's got 8 range too, but...
Yeah, Cyclops' 8 range outwit went far today.
Yeah.
But that Thor has 8 range too.
Yeah, but he doesn't
and he has Energy Explosion, which hit me for a lot of damage.
Penetrating too.
If he hits he has to hit both people,
yeah,
though. That's one thing. All my guys got knocked down to basically nothingness. Cyclops, if you hit him hard enough, he goes on to pretty useful stats and stuff. So I used him to heal back up my Magneto, and then proceeded to just slowly but surely whittle his team down, and I won on points. Second round, I played Ricky. He had basically the same team I did, except he had Emma, and I had Colossus. And it was a pretty even match. It came to rolls, and he also forgot about Magneto's traded energy shield.
Yeah,
so he tried to hit my like 20, and couldn't do it. It's pretty tough. One thing is the X-Men are good defense from range. 3 of my 4 pieces had top dial energy shield.
Yep.
And then when you're staying in hindering too. I mean, that's +3 all the time. So I tried to stay at range as much as I could against him and Dwayne. Dwayne's match was very similar too. Same map, basically same team, and I just tried to stay at range and take advantage of when to TK Colossus in and when not to.
Yeah, I did something cute with Namor. I pushed him onto his region where you can't. I was playing on the water map, so I sent him in originally with TK, and he hit Magneto pretty hard, and I think that was the only piece I got from Dwayne. But I sent him back with TK because he was low, and I had him push on his second click, and he went in the water. I had Magic TK him into the water.
So that they can't see
They
him.
can't draw lines of fire.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, that's pretty cute, Andrew. That's pretty sweet.
You pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. I liked the pieces. I think the Avenger pieces are way better than the X-Men pieces, personally.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some sneaky little...
I'd like to talk about Dwayne's team.
There are some X-Men pieces that are good, that are sneaky good.
Yeah.
That Emma, man, she's great for her points. Like I said, all of them, all the pieces that I played today, the X-Men, were better than I had initially thought they would be.
Yes,
I will say that.
Definitely.
I still feel like the Avengers are stronger, though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we had a huge turnout, and it was a blast. Next month, when we do it, we're going to do a hybrid, which is going to be real cool, where we each buy one Iron Man booster, and we build I can't remember if it's 300 or 400 point team, but using figures out of the Iron Man booster and just exactly one figure out of your starter set. And you can bring your old starter set and put whatever piece fits best with what you pull. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well,
It's a whole other layer of strategy, you know?
Definitely.
So that'll be our next month. Now let's call Austin. We'll see how this goes. He's probably sleeping, lazy son of a bitch. We'll call Austin, and we're going to see if we can try to trick him into basically doing what we played with us, telling us how we're going to try to keep it not obvious. So let's see. Let's see if he even picks up the phone. Let's put him on speaker here. What should I say to make it sound like?
No.
Yellow.
Did you just say YOLO?
Yellow. Am I on the podcast now?
No.
Oh.
We're sitting here
I'm
eating.
just
We're eating pizza with Ashley and Drew. We're gonna just talk about how the dugout went since you didn't show up.
Okay.
So
How did it go?
are you supposedly sick?
Yeah, I tried my phone this morning.
You did what this morning?
Yeah.
So Drew won today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Congratulations to the Drewster.
3-0. He beat me and Ricky both, and Terrence, I think, in the last round. It was crazy. The dude was on fire. And guess what else? We don't have any Phoenix Force resource styles for you.
That's fine. I'll just pick up 2 on Wednesday.
We had 20 people show up, dude. It was nuts.
Seriously?
Yeah, we had like 5 people from GP. We had John and Vernon come down from Anderson. I can't remember how far it's pretty good distance. And then and then our regular crew. So there was a ton of people there. What was I going to ask you? Oh, well, who did you play in ROC in your matches?
I played against Jarris first round, then Strax, and Drew.
So what happened that Jarris all of a sudden just waxed, like, it was funny, Drew, because I was sitting next to Austin first round, and I turned and I'm like, oh, Austin's got this. His team is so broken, it kicked my team's ass last night. And then I turned my head, and Austin puts the duo off the field and onto its card, and I'm like, the fuck? It's like turn 1. Like, what just happened? How did the duo go down so fast?
Basically, I set up my team, and I forgot to drop a drop blacklight ring before I did anything. So I was not in stealth. I was kind of letting him go first so he could move up and give me an opportunity to TK out and blast him. I pressed the blacklight ring, put down my stealth for my figures, and so he TK'd Prime out. gave the Pinside ring to the Prime, TK'd it out, double power action, and shot for like 6 and 5 or something like that.
Jesus.
It was bad. Yeah.
Who'd you say you played second?
Shrek.
Who?
That was bad luck on my part.
What?
He was winning the Superboy Prime and that might.
See, I don't understand how you had so much trouble with that team when I just beat the shit out of it. Like, and well, I guess, I don't know.
He hit improv rolls and I didn't, is what it came down to.
Well, why didn't you drop Flame Blast?
What?
Why didn't you drop Flame Blast?
I tried to. The problem I had was when I was dropping my rings, I had to drop defensive rings and stuff like that to try to slow them down a little bit.
Oh.
But basically, he came up and he smacked me for 8 right off the bat. I missed him, imperv, dropped down onto the full move, super strength perplex. I can't remember what I took then. I did something. I dropped a different ring and consumed the ring. It was just a mess. He beat me in like 3 turns.
Yeah.
And Scarlet Witch almost finished him off, but wasn't enough.
I know, I was just telling Drew how freaking retardedly good that Scarlet Witch is. Like, before we started Wednesday, I was like, this piece looks pretty good. And then after we were done, I was like, I'm going to play this piece like all the freaking time now because this thing is broken.
Anytime I built an Avengers team, now she's on it. I sat there and I was looking at it on Realms earlier, and I was like, well, gee, I wonder what I would have played had I gone today. And I was looking at my team possibilities. I'm like, man, there's so many of them. But all of them have that 100-point switch as my choice.
I played the X-Men, and I thought I was going to get my ass kicked, and I ended up going 3-0. That Magneto is a lot better than I gave him credit for. The Colossus is really nuts. I forgot that the Magneto gets free TK at one point, free Force Blast and TK at another point, and the traded energy shield. There's a lot of hindering on those maps.
You just totally contradicted yourself and gave away.
So I just kept
that I didn't win, by the way.
So I just kept putting myself in hindering, and like basically Magneto was always a 20 defense from range, so it was pretty nuts.
Well, hey, Drew, had you not said that, I would have been like, oh well, because I'm pretty sure there can be multiple 3-0s.
Oh, there was 3 3-0s, I think. Yeah, there was 3 3-0s. Drew, and then me, and then Mike.
Shut up.
I think Mike was 3-0 too.
You said I beat you, Ricky, and Terrence.
You did.
And you went 3-0.
We drew. No, Drew didn't win. Drew went 1-2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-2.
Drew, you're pitiful.
And
oh no, you know what's pitiful? Not showing up at all. So don't give me that.
Drew had some bad rolls, and he's having this. He said this is the worst clicks week of his life.
It probably is.
So, Austin, let me ask you a question.
Is it going to involve me saying hi to all the podcast listeners? Because I'm pretty sure, given the tone of all our discussion here.
No, it's not. We're at the kitchen table.
I'm calling bullcrap.
So, Austin, what comics you been reading here lately? Austin, what are your thoughts on the new Lex Luthor that just got spoiled this week? And also, if you had to give a tip, if you had to give a tip of advice to a said group of people who may or may not be listening, what advice would you give to that group of people to improve their game?
The only advice I'd give is don't trust Hunter because it's pretty obvious he's really bad at lying. But,
I didn't know what the hell to say.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give the tip I wanted to do a few weeks ago, which was find some favorite pieces that you really like and learn them inside and out. Just play them a lot. Make sure they're core pivotal build-around pieces like that 100-point switch we were talking about. And really learn their dials. Having pieces that you personally know, even if they're not top-of-the-line pieces, is more effective than someone who's playing a meta piece and doesn't know what they're doing with it. Like, recently I've taken it upon myself with that Iron Man, Iron Patriot duo to learn it in and out. And every time I play it, I notice myself getting a little better with it and learning new combinations with it that are just freaking awesome.
Yeah. I was also talking about how broken the ring resource is.
It's not really broken. It's just amazing.
Amazingly broken.
Amazingly broken.
Amazingly awesome.
All right, thanks for contributing at least a few minutes to the podcast this week.
That's fine.
I'm hanging up on you. All right, we got a little bit out of him.
Yeah.
He didn't know at first.
Yeah, he didn't.
All right, so he did the just a tip for us. We also have a just a tip from the listener. I'll save that for next week. We want to go over news real quick. Let's do first of all, the fan vote is back up.
Oh,
And I hate this fan vote, not because I love fan votes. I hate this one because there's 4 pieces on here that I absolutely have to have in clicks and have been clamoring for. Now, Catman already exists, so really what I want the most is Jeanette. Every time I try to build my Secret Six team, even though you have to use a lot of older, not that great pieces like Knockout and Catman and Copperhead, there is no Jeanette. I usually end up using Nightshade and acting like it's Jeanette. So we need a freaking Jeanette. She's on there. Catman's on there. Etrigan is on there. It's been a while since we've had him. I think Bold and the Brave was the last one. Brave and the Bold, whichever way it is.
You know who we really need, Hunter?
But we need this Killer Moth, too,
Need Killer Moth.
There's also Atomic Skull, Backlash, Elastigirl, Monsieur, Mala, and Brain. Oh, that is a good choice too. I do like they're in Teen Titans books sometimes.
Yeah, they're
Negative Man, Silver Monkey, Vigilante, and Weird.
Yep.
So if you guys would like to vote, go to heroclix.com, and if you have no idea who you want to vote for, go ahead and hit Jeanette for me.
Go ahead and hit Killer Moth for me.
No, hit Jeanette.
Killer Moth.
We also had Lex Luthor.
I didn't even see this guy. What does he do?
You haven't seen him yet?
No, what's he do?
I really like him. He's 150 points, and he is a uncommon in the Legion of Superheroes set. First of all, his trait is his powers can't be countered. Adjacent friendly characters with a lower point value have the Superman enemy.
Ooh!
So everybody adjacent that's lower gets outwit.
What? That's so stupid.
Yeah, and he's 150 points. He also has Underworld team ability, so other Underworld people, he can carry multiple people. He has a movement power of Running Shot and Invul, and he also has an 18 defend.
That's sick.
Prob control on top of that.
That's sick.
Yeah, and he's just he's just a Psychic Blast or a Precision Strike on his whole dial. This is not Battle Suit Lex. This is Lex in the classic green and purple. So, and this is a great piece.
It is pretty good.
I'm definitely going to give that a shot.
Yep.
We also got the Catapult Turtle.
Oh my Jesus Christ in heaven, Silver Age, watch out.
Is he not really cool, man? He's kind of expensive for what he does.
He's kind of expensive.
But if you look at his dial, he can dish some damage too.
He's ridiculous.
This dude is 100 and he's rare in the Yu-Gi-Oh set. 120 points, but he's 7 clicks of life and he's 7 range. And first of all, if you look at his top couple clicks, he's got Running Shot and Impervious and 3 damage enhancement.
Yep.
He has special attack power. This is what makes this guy so cool. He can use TK, but only to place adjacent friendly characters with a lower point value. When it does, after actions resolve, that character may make a closer ranged combat attack as a free action.
Say what?
Yeah, he just slings his dudes into battle, and then they can instantly...
Austin just messaged on Facebook.
Yeah. We don't want to talk to him. He didn't want to contribute. Yeah, so he's got TK. You TK him in, they get a free shot, and then they can go and do whatever else the heck they want to do.
Yes, sir.
Like Colossus.
Yeah.
I can TK in. Colossus.
Well, it has to be lower points.
Ah, shit. Well, we can use the 100-point Colossus.
Yes.
Who also dishes out good damage.
There you go.
I really like this guy.
DialHsecrets.com.
He's got... I thought it was premium.
Shut up. The Dial H premium is
we
on
got to get
Dial
as
H
much
Secret,
money out of them as we can.
Which is probably 0.
Yeah, and then, like I said, he could... Even not... If you're not going to use him for the TK, which you should... after he TKs all his buddies in, he can Running Shot with 7 range. So.
And he gets on to 4 damage eventually.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool piece. I definitely want to try him. And he has Animal keyword.
Animal.
So, try him on some animal teams.
Ooh.
Clicksmith started, the 12 Days of Clicksmith. The first one was really, really boring. They freaking did the Green Lantern, and not only we have already seen that, A. B, they didn't even spoil the dial. At least show us the damn dial and how
give
it
us the
works.
dial,
They would have done that. We would have been excited.
the first day of Clicksmith, I'm so excited.
It could have been our main topic if they would have spoiled, what the lanterns do, but whatever.
Second somewhere.
This is the third. I don't remember what the second one was. The third one is the Spider-Man team base, which we already saw again, so we don't care about that. We also have Summon Skull,
who's a badass,
who is a super rare from the Yu-Gi-Oh set. He has a trait. This dude is expensive, but he dishes out some major damage. Trait of Energy Explosion. When he's adjacent to or occupying water, it can target any character adjacent to or occupying water terrain with a ranged combat attack, regardless of range and line of fire. So he can be. There's some maps that have water across the. Actually, wasn't the flip side of the map we played today on AVX Month 1 has water across the whole thing. So he can be on one entire opposite side, and he can make a shot against an opposing character that's adjacent to or in water clear across the map. He doesn't need line of fire, and he doesn't need range. That's pretty nuts.
My Yu-Gi-Oh team's going to be Caterpillar Tillers because Summon Skull is going to TK him in, and then
I really wish the dude had monster keyword, but he doesn't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be stupid.
He's 210 points, though. He's pricey, but he's 9 clicks, Indom, 8 range, 2 bolts, and 12 attack on top dial with 18 imperv and 3 RCE. And then a few clicks of running shot, Psychic Blast, and then a few clicks of charge super strength, exploit as well. So
pretty decent.
I don't know. He's still really expensive, but he'll at least be fun to play, especially if you can get map.
I don't know about this Yu-Gi-Oh set, man. I mean,
I don't know.
How much is it going to cost?
I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to buy into it, and we'll talk about that more later when we do reader mail, because there's a question that will relate directly to that. So that's all the news we got this week. Austin already generously gave us just the tip, and like I said at the start of the podcast, today's main topic is Marvel named theme teams. For those of you who haven't listened to any of the other podcasts we did when we did the theme teams, I basically go through the main keywords. What I do is I go and I do a unit search and see for each named theme how many pieces exist in modern age, and I only pick the ones who have the most options. So, for example, I'll do Avengers. I will not do Skeleton Crew, which only has like 1 or 2.
I love Skeleton Crew. Where's my Skeleton Crew?
And so I pick the ones that have the most options, and then every piece that I include has to be $20 or less, has to be modern age, and I pick the top 4 or 5 or so of each section, and not only do I pick like the big powerhouse pieces, I try to include the ones that either work really well with the rest of the keywords, like they contribute something to the rest of them, or they give you something that keyword typically lacks. For example, shield. Most shield pieces are good from range.
Yep.
So I would try to include a piece that is not only good from range, but is also good close combat. I would include it on the list. So let's start with Avengers, the obvious choice. We're going to start off with the AVX Scarlet Witch we just mentioned. Now, the starter such comes in as $40, but when you think about the fact that you get 6 figures for $40, that makes her less than 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is an excellent piece. We already talked about how good she is because not only does she have Perplex, Prob out, and support, but she also provides Mystics, the ability to get rid of team abilities that includes ATAs, and the fact that she is a great secondary attacker herself. She's definitely included on there. Our good old friend White Suit Iron Fist has to be on there. We'll see him on this list a couple more times, I guarantee it. Chaos War Donald Blake, we also talked about. This piece is about 50 cents. He is a 33-point figure, I think.
I think so.
He has an 11 attack support. He's
stupid.
And he also has pretty good alter egos once he gets on a second, third, and fourth clicks. He has one that goes into a running shot. There's one that goes into charge exploit. And there's one that goes into flurry. So he's a great, great figure. Sharon Carter. is a great Avengers figure too.
Gives everyone adjacent to her stealth.
Yep. Any adjacent keyworded Avengers get stealth, and she has it herself. And she also, again, has shield. So she gives you +1 range, and then she can power action to give you +1 damage. And then you push her one time, and she goes on to perplex. So she's just a great piece for only 45 points. She also is only 50 cents or $1. And then Chaos War Hawkeye.
Yep.
This guy, I'm not sure how much he is. I know he's way less than $10. Probably around the $5 range
He's
at the most.
not expensive.
More maybe $2 or $3.
But with that $3, whatever you're talking about.
You're talking about a piece that you can play on several of these name theme teams. You'll probably see him again when I go through the other ones. The guy has 9 range, triple bolt, sharpshooter, running shot, stealth.
With 12 attack.
With 12 attack on his top click.
He is...
He's really nuts. Not to mention the fact that he also has T-bolts, so you can... And he's wild card. So
yeah.
talk about a piece that can fit onto whatever team you need him to fit on. He can copy the rest of the pieces that you're playing with, or he can T-bolts and choose any Marvel team ability.
Next time someone says to you, that's unfair, just tell them, no, that shit's Chaos War Hawkeye.
So he is a must-have for Avengers, in my opinion. There's tons of Avengers pieces.
Yeah.
These were the best I felt cheap money-wise for what they do. And they also can easily fit on points.
Yeah.
These are all super cheap pieces to play. Avengers, Scarlet Witch is the highest at 100 points.
They're so efficient, it's ridiculous.
Another big Marvel team ability, Shield. Again, Chaos War Hawkeye.
Yeah.
He's on there. Sharon Carter, I didn't list her on my list, but she also is Shield. Brother Voodoo.
Oh, buddy.
Another guy you'll see on the list probably again. Now, he's definitely no more than 20, but he's somewhere around the $15
He's like
range.
18, 17.
This is a piece that you literally could throw on any team you build.
And he'll be good.
And he will pay off.
Yep.
He has phasing. He has an 18 super senses with prob control. And when he has one token, he gets mind control for free. And you essentially get to do that 2 turns in a row. You move up, you can phase up, take the token, mind control a piece, make it hit another one of their pieces, or rush it back to your guys who then blast it. You know, the possibilities are endless with his free mind control. And when he does the free mind control, he takes no damage.
Yep.
He gets +1 attack on the mind control, and the person he mind controls also gets +1 attack. The dude's nuts.
He is nuts.
He is one of the... If you will not waste a cent if you buy a Brother Voodoo. You will be very happy.
He's so good.
79 points, like I said. The M10 Iron Man I talked about earlier, he has a trait where if the figure that hits him is assigned a relic or resource, you roll a d6. You roll a 1 to 3, you take 1 unavoidable. You roll a 4 to 6, you take nothing.
Nothing.
He is going to be a huge meta piece coming up, and he basically is a necessity at this point to have in your toolbox. You're going to see the meta. We're going to be talking about the meta next week. How post watch list changes, things are shaping up. It's a brand new day in the world of the meta with the watch list changes, and with team bases taking a slight decrease. We're going to see a lot of things that we saw in No Man's Land, and around that era and forward, rise up a little bit. And Brother Voodoo and M10 Iron Man, their stock is going to raise much more now that Heroes for Hire and team bases are dropped. So get yourself an M10 Iron Man as quick as possible if you don't already possess one. Another figure that I really like for shield teams is Tabap Cap, because he provides energy shield and leadership for himself and friendly adjacent characters lower than him. And he also turns into a really good melee attacker a couple clicks into his dial with charge and some good stats. So he's one of those pieces that gives you some good charge for a shield team. And then last but not least, Howard Stark. 33 points, I think? How many points is that guy?
He's not a lot.
He has Outwit, and you push him one time and he has Enhancement.
Yep.
And he's 33 points. So for only 33 points, you're getting a piece that has Outwit and Enhancement. That's very, very useful these days.
It definitely is.
You want to go over Thunderbolts for us?
All right, Thunderbolts.
The first guy look a little familiar to you?
It's Chaos War Hawkeye, because he gets that.
He has basically every good Marvel keyword.
Marvel 10th Anniversary Green Goblin, the rare. He's insane. You're talking about one of the best energy explosion pieces in the game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's definitely going to be worth your money. He gets penetrating energy explosion and super strength, along with a 5 range, double bolts, 11 running shot, 10 attack.
Yeah, and a cool thing to note about the fact that he has super strength is he can pick up a light, throw it for 8, and energy explosion off of it, which is increasing his only 5 range to now an 8, or even heavy go 6. So
yeah, still pretty.
That really, and people don't see that coming, man.
They do not.
When you only are sporting a 5 range, they're like, all right, I can park my dudes right here. That's 2-3 squares away. He's not going to hit me.
Yep.
Pick up that light, chuck it all the way across the map. Penetrating energy explosion.
He is great. That guy's really good. One of my favorite pieces of all time, Amazing Spider-Man Shocker.
Oh, yeah, man.
This guy did so much work at the Battle Royals, it's ridiculous. Basically, he gets a special attack ability where he can use Penetrating Psychic Blast. And when he does and targets only one character, the hit character is also given an action token.
You know who he reminds me of a lot? Actually, he's better. Is a piece that I really wanted to list on Avengers. It's Chaos War Wasp, who hits you. She hits 2 people, incaps them, and then gives them 1 penetrating. He hits 1 person, but at least he deals that full 3 damage penetrating, and then gives them an action token.
This was one of my favorite things to go against team bases.
Yes,
because no one's going to focus Shocker. He's a great secondary attacking piece.
Absolutely great secondary.
So
you're right.
After they waste all their shit on your main attacker, you just Shocker runs in, gives him a second action token, and hopefully your attacker's still alive so he can
help you out.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got. Lady Deathstrike from Wolverine and the. Oh my gosh, this chick.
We were so excited when we spoiled her.
She's so good.
She's what, $3-4 to pick up.
Yep.
She's the one who can flurry, and then before she makes a second one, she can sidestep as a free action, ignores characters already. And then she has that special blades where if she rolls lower, then she deals 1 penetrating after actions resolve. So that really incentivizes you to go ahead and go for it. And she has exploit weakness on a lot of those clicks. So and she also has precision strike a lot. So she's just hopping around, smacking people, picks up regen at random parts in her dial.
Insanely random. King Hyperion.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, you guys aren't ready for King Hyperion.
Prepare your anus.
This is one of the few times where I'd say the non-prime is way better than the prime.
Yeah, I agree.
King Hyperion is a dick. You give him a power action and make a closer range combat attack targeting a single friendly character with a point value of 15 or more. If he KOs that character with this attack after actions resolve, heal him 1. Remove all action tokens from him and modify his combat values by +1 until next turn. And he may be immediately given as a free an action as a free action
to activate this power again.
He's nuts.
He can do it 3 times, heal up 3 times, be +3s, and be clear of action tokens, and then go hit somebody.
He's probably what, $10, $15 right now?
No, he's a little more than that. Surprisingly, he's as much as the Chases.
Really?
Yeah, which is because everybody wants this.
Yeah,
dude.
He's ridiculous.
He is around 15. Yeah, so his stock will drop as more boosters are opened.
Yeah.
But for now, the dude is awesome. And I wanted to honorable mention
Bullseye,
who is in Silver Age piece. But if you really want to get into playing T-Bolts and you don't have a lot of these guys, pick up a Bullseye. He was from Web of Spider-Man.
He's one
of the best pieces in the game,
he
especially
is from,
ranged.
It's Chaos War Hawkeye and Web of Spider-Man Bullseye are probably 2 of the top 10 ranged attackers in the game.
I would not. You'd have hard trouble finding somebody who's going to argue that point.
Because these 2 guys, I can't think of 2 pieces that dominated so badly.
Yeah.
They're just so good.
Bullseye also has a 12 in attack, a 10 range, only 1 bolt. But the amazing thing about him is that his trait, characters targeted by him can't use shape change or super senses.
Which is nuts.
So he's got that on top of a 12 attack, 10 range. He's just really nuts.
I forgot how much of a shot that is at, what's his name, Daredevil?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was the whole point. So Yeah, if you really want to get into T-bolts, I would suggest picking up that dude as well. He's really, really sick.
I think our next topic's going to be godly, huh, honey?
We're going to talk about Asgardians, which is a keyword that's gotten lots of love here lately.
Tons of love, because of Fear itself.
It was really hard for me to compose this list. I felt out of the Thors, the best cheap money-wise option for you to pick up was the Dark World 001 and the 018. The 018 is the one that easily promotes into him. He starts off very good. He's got the Charge, Precision Strike, Quake, and then he's the one who has the stamina tokens. So he gets 2 pushes for the game. And then he gets the promotion mechanic where Thor can use Super Strength, give Thor close combat action, and if he hits, you may roll a d6. If the result is greater than the damage taken, replace him with Thor number 1 on the same click number, +1. As I said, whenever I played against this dude, he hit me, I rolled Impervious, I took no damage, so anything that dude rolled was higher than 0, and he instantly promoted into Thor 001, who's a 200-point piece. This Thor 001 has running shot and a special attack power. You give him a power action, make a ranged attack. The attack generates knockback, but this knockback path is not stopped by walls or blocking. Instead, destroy it, and knockback damage from the attack equals 1 + 1 for each wall or square of blocking terrain the character moved through. So he's one of the few figures who plays like we did that knockback event where you can knock back through multiple. This guy can do that. He also has Impervious in a very long dial, 10 clicks long. So I think that the fact that this dial that you promote into so easily, by the way, of the Endom, the Flyer, running shot piece, and then late dial he's like Charge and Super Strength, that's such a, as you always say, value.
That is value. Starting
with this dude at 125 who has good values, good stats already, and then easily promoting into an extremely good figure, or a extremely long dial in this store. So it was really hard to pick for Asgardians. I definitely went with our main Tyr from Fear itself.
Tyr is...
Not only is he sick himself, he also has the traits that help other Asgardians. He has modified the damage value of adjacent friendlies with Asgardian keyword by +1 when they make close combat attacks. So, and then you look at his dial, and he's just such a boss. We talked about him plenty on the podcast. Heimdall also because, for one, he's a great piece, but for 2, he has the damage ability. Other friendlies with Asgardian keyword and within line of fire, so not even a range requirement on that, just within line of fire, they get +1 defense. And so he's another piece that really helps out the other Asgardians. Mm-hmm. You got Split Lip, of course. We don't even need to talk about that dude. You have Fear itself, Odin I wanted to include. Because Odin has a lot of ability. Now, he is kind of expensive for modern age, although you could run the 175 version. But he has the damage ability where you empower other Asgardians. If he has 1 or more tokens, modify the attack value of other friendly characters 150 or less by +1. When he has 2 tokens, modify the damage value of other friendlies within 8 squares by +1. So if you have 2 tokens, you're actually doing both. You're giving them +1 attack and +1 damage. He's just a great piece, I think. And if you're in a big points game and you can run the 351, he's well worth it as well. And if you run that version, he also helps the rest of his guys because he gets a special attack power. At the beginning of your turn, choose a standard attack power. Odin and friendly characters 150 or less can use that power this turn.
That's good.
So he really helps the rest of his team, even though he's such an expensive piece. And one more piece that I felt I needed to mention that helps other Asgardians is the Thor the Dark World tier, 006. He has a trait. At the beginning of your turn, all friendlies within 6 that are 100 points or less and have Asgardian and Warrior keywords can use Sidestep and get +1 damage this turn. It's not hard. Most Asgardians have Warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look through all of them, they almost all have Warrior. So he gives them all Sidestep and +1 damage?
Yeah,
really?
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
That's pretty good.
And he has Empower. So there, he brings them with him and sidesteps them up, and then they get +1 damage from the trait and +1 damage from his Empower. And he's just a great all-around piece anyways.
Yeah.
He is 200 points, but he's got a long dial, helps out the rest of your guys' Guardians. Great suggested piece. You want to talk about the old X-Men, who
Yes.
are also a keyword that's gotten tons of love lately with the Wolverine and the X-Men set.
Wolverine and the X-Men.
First, we're going to talk about your main man, one of your main men.
This guy, his name's Longshot. He is ridiculous. He starts off with a 9 running shot, 11 attack, 16 energy shield, 2 prop. But the thing that makes Longshot special is that he has 5. He only has a 5 range, but he has triple bolts. And his trait, all Longshot's hits are critical hits. If he rolls 12s and the attack can't be evaded, and damage dealt is increased by an additional 1, and damage can't be reduced below 3.
The sick thing to remember about the triple bolts with the always crits
Is the Book of the Skulls.
Well, that too.
Well,
That's a good point as well. But the fact that when you make a ranged attack and you crit, for each target you hit, they take an additional 1.
And what does he roll on to, Hunter?
Precision strike. Yeah. So he's triple hitting. He's hitting 3 targets with 2 damage to split. So, and then since he's critting, they each take an additional 1. So he's now dishing out 5 damage. That is precision strike, so can't be reduced below 1.
It's pretty nasty.
He's a very good piece.
Yeah.
One of my favorite new pieces. Now, next is a piece that you didn't like as much when you played her, just because everybody went after her. But for her points, she's so ridiculously good.
M10 Storm. She's really good. She's got an 8 range. She can sit in stealth. She's a flying piece for 59 points. She starts with the 3 damage range combat expert with 8 range and stealth.
That's all you need to mention right there. For 59 points, you get a flyer who can bring in another guy who can sit in stealth from 8 squares away, which is very good range these days. And then already has a 10 and a 3 plus RCE on top of it. And then the fact that, she's landing hits very often with those stats. And then she can promote into a very good Storm.
Yeah.
The other M10 Storm, who has running shot Psychic Blast and some running shot Pulse Wave and free Force Blast at times, Energy Shield, Super Senses, I love this Storm. Every time I've used her, I've been amazed at how undercosted that Clicks is. If you can keep it in safety and stealth, it will wreak havoc. The next one, I don't know if you looked at this Psylocke, because I don't feel enough people have. She's really good.
She's off the team base, so no one's probably really looked at her too much, I'd say. Because no one really played X-Men Blue, did they? I mean, there were a couple teams.
Not separate from the team base.
Yeah,
no.
It was just X-Men Blue straight up. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
She can use mind control and stealth. She can use mind control as if her range was 8 with 2 targets. She has a normal 2 range, but that's some pretty good.
So chilling in stealth. Again, we just talked about a figure.
84 points.
We just talked about a figure who sits in stealth and shoots from 8 range. How about one that sits in stealth with shape change on top of that for extra protection?
Yeah,
and has precision strike, 2 bolt mind control
with willpower
with 8 range. Yeah, and willpower too.
She's pretty.
Keep this girl at range, and she will destroy. You'll have to be careful with the mind control not to go over 150.
Yeah, but you can.
Because she'll take the damage, but still.
You still get some value.
She is great, and I think a lot of people have never paid a lot of attention to some of these team-based figures.
Yeah.
I almost threw in Iceman for the same reason from the team base. He's really, really good at what he does.
Yeah, but, he is.
I instead went with 209 Jean, who I'll talk about because I just played her and had excellent success with her. Wolverine the X-Men 209 Jean, 100 points, X Factor and X-Men keyword. She's the one who can running shot, and when she does, her speed value is not decreased by carry. And she can carry up to 3 characters if they share a keyword with her.
How is that not nuts?
So she can carry the rest of 3 of your X-Men with her. She has excellent values: 8 range, double bolt, 11 psychic blast, 3 damage, enhancement. She was the all-star piece on my team a couple weeks ago when I won the whole thing at GP by far.
She's ridiculous.
She's So she has 2 top clicks of like Running Shot, Psychic Black, Madness, and then the next 2 clicks are support, Mind Control, TK, and support, or Mind Control, Psychic Blast, Enhancement, and then the last 2 clicks also have TK and support mixed in there. So she starts off blasting and then can help your team the rest of the game.
She's
after
pretty
that.
great.
She's excellent. You can TK one of your guys back to you so that you can heal them next turn with support, or you could use the X-Men TA as well. The very last one
is
I want you to talk about, and I was reluctant to put this guy on here because we haven't quite gotten to use him a lot, but I think if you can keep him safe and keep him at range, 100-point Cyclops is I dare say undercosted.
He definitely is, and I'll give you reasons. He starts on a 4 damage for 100 points.
Yep.
He 4 damage, 8 range, outwit.
Sharpshooter.
That sharpshooter
And can shoot even when he's based and at opposite people who aren't basing him.
And he can shoot through blocking and destroys them when he does.
This dude can shoot wherever the hell he wants to shoot, whenever
It's
the hell
so
he wants
perfect. He is the best Cyclops they've ever released. Like, no doubt. It's just ridiculous.
If this dude had an 11 attack, he'd make my deck hard.
Yeah, but there's a book that can make him a trouble.
You also forget the fact that he has outwit.
I did say outwit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And leadership, and anybody next to him with the X-Men keyword is considered to have a lower point value. That's another reason I put him on the team.
That's so good.
That's one reason I wanted him on this list, because he can leadership even more expensive X-Men pieces.
Like Namor and
my 150-point Magneto.
And Colossus. Basically, Cyclops is a nuts piece. He's probably one I'm going to be building around a lot.
I think, in Avengers vs. X-Men, when you have most of these people's builds, you have to pick one of your figures to use in your stuff. I think if you're playing X-Men, you're picking Scott a lot.
You are definitely picking
Scott a
lot.
Another good thing is he's sort of like Hawkeye in that he's easy to build around.
Yes.
100 points for just a solid straight-out attacker at top dial is really good. And then he's got that Force Blast running shot, so when he running shots and hits, he can cause them to knock back and be even more pushed away from him if he's at max range.
Which, if you're playing first month AVX, there's a really good map for him. Especially if you're playing him with Magic, because Magic has that sweet-ass teleportation there.
Got that sweet ass, don't you?
She got that sweet ass.
I was reluctant to put this keyword in there, but
then Austin talked you into it?
No, honestly, when I did a search for how many figures have this keyword, there are quite a bit these days.
There are?
And that's Stark Industries.
Oh, boy.
I want to talk about Rescue 002 first of all. We talked about her when we talked about Iron Man Sealed last week, or this week. I don't think you weren't on the podcast because we had to do it during the week. She has double bolt in cap and TK and perplex, and she can fly. 65 points. She's basically the Oracle of this set. She's maybe a step or two behind Oracle, but she's still very good for her points.
Yeah.
Especially for Stark Industries teams. And then she gets 2 clicks of support after that. So I really, really like her. Excellent support piece if you're going to run Stark Industries, which is going to be easy to get a hold of because this is the current set right now.
Yep.
Another piece we talked about earlier.
Oh, no.
Silver Centurion. This dude has Stark Industries keyword.
He's so ridiculous.
And the dude is freaking nutso right now. He's got running shot, impervious, shape change. Not only does he have impervious and shape change, he also has a trait that makes him ignore Psychic Blast, Poison, and Pulse Wave.
How is that?
And that power cannot be ignored. So you have a very tough time hitting this son of a gun. And then, if that wasn't enough...
It wasn't enough.
They give him this Pulse Bolt Torpedo, in which you power action, spit out a torpedo, and every turn you move it 1 square, and it gets all its stats +1, basically. And then it has an attack value of 11 and a maximum 7 damage. Each turn that you move it, its damage ticks up 1.
Yep.
Maximum of 7 with an 11 attack. Now, let's go ahead and throw this out there for net. Now, this stands as of 12/14/2013.
Yeah.
As of now, technically, going by the wording on this piece, those values are not locked. Those values are replacement values. And the pulse bolt torpedo is an extension of Silver Centurion himself. This is not it's not a bystander.
Yeah.
It's a terrain marker. When you make an attack with it, you actually prob Silver Centurion. And you perplex Silver Centurion. And which makes sense. When you make a token like that, this is not a bystander token. A bystander token is its own separate figure. Eva is her own separate figure.
Yeah.
This is not. This is an extension of Silver Centurion. If you have empowers, say a couple 10-point worker spiders, sitting around this Silver Centurion, when that token flies off and hits for 7, it's now hitting for 10.
That's...
You can perplex Silver Centurion's attack up 3 times. He can go out making a shot with that 14 attack. Then you can make the torpedo go out and hit somebody, and it also will have a 14 attack because it's replacing. So you replace, and then you add any modifications that are on top of Silver Centurion. It's literally broken.
It's broken.
To be honest, even after they fix it, I think they will lock it. I think they'll errata it. Actually, I don't think. I know that they will errata it to lock it.
Yeah.
But it will always be an extension of Silver Centurion because that's how it's designed to work. But it will not be... It will be locked once they errata it. Another thing to note about this token, it says at the beginning or end of your turn, if the marker square is occupied by an opposing character, you must remove the marker from the map and make a close combat attack roll against the character. Well, here's the problem with that. I think WizKids thought by putting that, they were like, okay, if somebody's so inclined, they can rush a guy up there, stand on it so that it has to go off and kill that character instead of flying in and hitting somebody that you don't want it to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Problem with that is that it's the beginning of my turn. I can choose the order of my free actions. Moving the torpedo one square is a free action. So I can choose to move it before I choose the free action of this thing blowing up to happen.
Yeah.
So as it's worded right now, you technically can't jump on the grenade.
And it has improved movement and ignores characters.
Yes. As of right now, you can't jump on the grenade right now.
Oh my god.
So I think that will also get errated though as well. I think it will be at the beginning of your turn. It blows up. They will errata that. But for now, as of 12-14, if you want to bust this out at your venue, you can do everything I just said, technically. If you're going off the wording on the card, we've been having lots of discussions about this on Realms. In the rules section, the rules arbs all agree the way it's worded. It's not locked. They all think that it will get errated. They actually pretty much know it will, but as of now, for the player's guide, that's how it's going to go. This piece is stupid even after they fix that, though. This piece is stupid good.
Yep.
I will honestly be surprised if this does not become a very good, legit meta piece in the future. What were we even talking about before we got off on tangents? Stark Industries. Split Lip, Gibbon. We don't even got to talk about him. Iron Man 3, Tony Stark.
Is really good.
This is a guy who Edward said on the podcast a couple weeks ago was one of his top 10 pieces that came out this week, and he's absolutely right. This little puppy is only 50 points. He sees through stealth with the Avengers Initiative TA, 6 range. He has energy explosion, but mainly he sees through stealth, he enhances, and he outwits. And he also upgrades into one of the better Iron Man pieces. Actually, it promotes into the one that I thought was the best Iron Man piece in the whole Iron Man 3 set, which is the cheap version of the 001, the Mark 7 Iron Man. If you promote, he gets +1 speed and attack, so he's a 9 charge, 10 attack, 17 impervious, 4 damage piece with 8 range. So you took that little 50-point Iron Man and hang him out in stealth, or hang him out in hindering, let him do his thing, see through stealth, outwit, and enhance for the rest of your guys, say a Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And let them blast, and then he can promote into this shit kicker of a freaking attack piece right here.
Yes, sir.
With a 10 attack. You paid 50 points for a flying 9 charge, 10 attack, 17 impervious, 4 damage piece.
That piece is that's an insane book piece.
And that Tony is only going to run you like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
And then I also want to mention, I kind of lumped them together because I couldn't pick which one I liked better.
The Iron Man War Machine.
Invincible Iron Man, the Rare War Machine, and the Super Rare War Machine. Another piece that Howard liked a lot when we talked to him that came out this year was the regular non-prime, simply because of his long range and running shot and his trait that you get to choose at the beginning of the game. I actually had to face this guy a couple weeks ago. At the beginning of the game, choose a standard power. When an opposing character that attacks him can use that power, you modify its attack and damage -1 for that attack. So if you got this big, nasty pulse-waving Magneto, I choose Pulse Wave, and when you try to hit me... Oh, wait. I just chose the one power that would actually get around this because it doesn't say can't be ignored. Okay, you have Psychic Blast. I choose Psychic Blast, and now when you hit me, it's not going to sting so bad if you even do hit me, because now you're -1 attack and damage. And I get to choose that. You get to see the opponent's team and then make that decision. He also has that great swing, like we said, of a 6. If you're running shots, he can go 6 squares and then shoot 8. That's a really far swing these days. And then the Prime is pretty expensive with 245 points, but he has the double power. You give him a double power action, and he gets 2 different actions as free actions. Any actions he wants.
He's pretty good.
And then he has the trait, which is nuts too. Each time he's targeted, doesn't even have to be hit. Each time he's targeted, you put a retaliation token on his card. Then you give him a free action to remove 2, and he can make a ranged combat attack against a target. So while he has those double tokens and he gets shot at, he gets to, each time he gets little tokens, and then he can do a free shot the next turn and clear, and the next turn double. I mean, this dude pumps out reliable damage.
Yes, he does.
He also has 10 clicks, but again, he's 245 points. So both the War Machines are really good, and a lot of people are enjoying them quite a bit. On to Defenders, which is a keyword that has quietly gotten a lot of love lately. If you look at the set distributions, you get 4 of them in Wolverine, 5 of them in Fear itself, 4 of them in Amazing Spider-Man, 2 in Chaos War, 1 in Tablet. Like, you just get a little here and there, but these are good pieces.
Enough to make up a... Yeah.
You got our old buddy 002 Colossus.
Ooh.
Great piece for the points.
Yes, sir.
He's got charge, 10 attack with super strength and a 4 damage in power, and invincible is the main thing. If you can get this guy in safely on a good map, where he's not getting shot at while he's moving up, the dude is going to hit somebody for 6, and then he's going to have invincible to soak up the damage when they go try to hit him back. You got one of our old friends we haven't seen for a while here, Drew. Old Dr. Druid.
Dr. Druid.
Dr. Druid's that piece where when the set first got spoiled and we first did our first seal with Spider-Man, nobody was really psyched that he was in the set. Nobody cared about the piece. And then as we started to play him, we were all like, this piece is nuts. So
I'm in love with this guy.
He's got... You guys will have to look at his dial to truly appreciate how it works. And it's a very odd dial that surprisingly works very well. Top dial, he's got Prob TK. Next 2 clicks, he's got Mind Control and either TK or Outwit. But then his last 3 clicks, he turns into suddenly just a beast. He can Pulse Wave. Before you give him a Pulse Wave, you can place him in a square of hindering within 6 squares line of fire and then Pulse Wave from there.
It's just a non-free action.
And he... Yeah, sure, you could even choose a move to move him farther than he needs to move. But basically, I can be way away from your group of figures. You think you're safe, and then I teleport over next to them and then Pulse Wave.
Yep.
And he has a Poison, Invul, Outwit, and again, Mystic's team ability. This guy is great for 144 points. He's really the definition of sneaky good piece. We got our old friend... White Suit Iron Fist. Nothing needs to be said about that guy.
He's just good.
If you don't have 4 of these on your shelf by now, you're doing something wrong. And Iceman, I brought up earlier from the team base. Now, he's a weird one for me to put on there, like the Psylocke, because they come from a team base.
Yeah.
I don't really know how much that blue team base is running right now. I don't know if it's less than 20. I doubt it is. It probably is right on the nose, if not more.
Yeah.
But I wanted to include him because he's a great new defender option. He has the barrier. He does barrier. He has 6 range. And then he makes a close combat targeting a character adjacent to the marker. Each hit character is given an action token and dealt 1 damage for each action token it now has.
Dude.
It's really, really nice.
And you get them in rare slats.
If you can get this guy in a close corridors, like a negative zone, where it's got those, you can run a barrier along a big group of guys and then in cap, and damage. It's going to be really, really nuts. And then, last but not least, Hank Pym.
Hank Pym from Chaos War?
Yeah, from Chaos War, because the dude has options. He's 75 points. You park his ass on an object, and you give him a free action. Choose a standard attack power he can use at this turn. Each turn he gets to change that. You can give him TK. You give him Precision Strike if there's a pesky little piece that you need to finish off that's running around, causing trouble. Give him Psychic Blast if that's what you need. You can give him Energy Explosion if your opponent has some pieces that are clumped together. And he alternates Outwit and Perplex down his dial.
Yes.
He is a great, great piece. One that I really fell in love with the more I played him back in the day around Chaos War and No Man's Land days.
The Golden Age.
The Golden Age, for us at least. You want to talk about some Brotherhood figures?
Brotherhood.
Well, first up,
is it the
we
Toad?
got one of our main boys.
Okay, Toad's probably one of the best tie-up pieces they've printed in a while.
In Modern Age, for sure,
yeah. He's got movement ability. He can use Leap, Climb, and Plasticity, which on its own was pretty ridiculous for 40 friggin' points. Give a friendly character with the higher point value and within 8 squares of power action and move Toad up to his speed value, so he gets in pretty damn easy. He's got that combat reflexes with a 17 on top dial.
19 from melee. And if he needs to go and switch to somebody else, he's got Plasticity and Leap Climb.
He's nuts.
So he just goes right away and goes tie them up.
He's like 25 cents, and he's going to tie up pieces that are like $25.
Yeah, exactly. And another cool thing is he's a piece that actually you would like the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability on.
Yes.
Because that means when he moves, he doesn't take away from your action total. He's only 40 points. And all he's going to be doing is moving, because he's tie-up.
Yep.
So when he moves, he's not taking away from your action total. So the rest of your dudes can do whatever they need to do to set up or to dish out damage while he does his job, which is to sit there and be annoying and
he is very annoying.
Drill some acid and wrap his tongue around a Wonder Girl.
Oh, God. The most annoying piece you'll probably find. Now, this next piece you might have heard of. Spiral.
I think I heard that name somewhere once or twice.
I played Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
We're some vets.
Yep.
Spiral does a few things. Things that used to be pretty disputably broken.
Disputably.
Spiral has a trait that is now modified. So let me try to spit this off the dome here.
Spit some knowledge.
Once again.
On the dome.
Basically, post changes, you give her a double power action, and you place a special terrain marker adjacent to her, and then another one anywhere on the map. And at the beginning of your next turn, I think, then pieces can start to go through the portal. But it now changes. It used to be you just moved, and you continued your move on the other edge of the portal. Now you have to be standing on one side, take a free action to pop up on the other side of the portal. That's how it works. So it's not as good now, but this piece is still just as good. That dial is still just as annoying to take down. She has Pulse Wave, Energy Shield, and Prob for 4 clicks, and then her last 4 clicks are so annoyingly freaking efficient.
Yep.
She's got Charge with 11s and 10s on attacks, and Blades and Flurry, and she gets to re-roll her d6 once per turn.
Yep.
And she has 17 reflexes with Shape Change.
How is this a thing?
So she's 19 from melee and has Shape Change on top of that.
Who designed this piece?
I don't know, man. Remember when we talked about her initially? I was like, this piece is worth 106 points without the trait.
Yeah, it is.
And then they threw that broken ass trait on top of her. I definitely suggest picking up a Spiral, $5 or less easily. These days, she will be found. I would like to talk about Shadow King.
You want to talk about Shadow King?
I played him in my first Wolverine the X-Men sealed, and he was really good. Granted, I gave him a running shot hammer because that's what he's lacking, but he's still good even without one. He's 122 points for an 8-click long piece, and he's a dedicated mind control piece. He has a special one. He gets a range value of 10 when he uses mind control, and when he does, he doesn't take the unavoidable damage. Hit targets may be assigned 2 free actions instead of 1. One of them must be a move.
Which...
It's really nice.
Oh, darn.
There were games where I would mind control Colossus, make it go hit his Oracle, and then run the Colossus back to his side of the map while I take the rest of the team out, you know?
Yeah.
There was points where I would mind controlled a Monkey King, punched somebody, then rushed him next to my Wolverine, who then Flurry Blades them on the spot. Like, it's so nice getting those 2 moves off the mind control and not taking the damage from it. And then you stack on the fact that this motherfreaker's hard to take down.
Yes.
He has a defense power. He ignores all but 1 damage dealt by adjacent characters. So basically you have to shoot this guy. If you can give this dude stealth through Batman Cowl or something like that, the dude is a pain to deal with. Because you basically can't hit him. You can't kill him melee. He ignores all but 1 when you hit him with melee, and then when he's dealt, after actions resolve, you roll a d6 on a 3 to 6, so a 66% chance you heal him back that 1 damage.
Yeah, but he'd still... Giant-sized characters could, you know...
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Giant size wouldn't have to deal with that. Good point there, Drew. Look at this guy coming up with the ideas. Then his last 4 clicks, he gets Mind Control, Psychic Blast, and his values go up with Perp and
Outwit. He gets on a 4.
So this is a piece. This is a dial that you look at, and it doesn't look like a.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh man, point and shoot, 120 piece point, just bruiser. But it is extremely efficient at what it does. It's a very focused mind control piece, and it's one of the best mind control pieces.
In high piece games, he's going
exist.
to be a very good secondary threat that they're not going to spend all their time focusing on.
I want you to talk about this dude here, Havoc, who I was thinking earlier.
Mr.
Actually, I might
Summers.
keep it quiet for now and tell you after the podcast what I'm planning on doing with this cutie here.
All right, well, I'm going to go over.
All right, you go ahead.
All right, so he has a trait with Scott Summers. He ignores all damage dealt by characters named Cyclops.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
Unless it's dealt in it. Okay, I'm just going over the piece.
They're brothers. They can't.
When
hurt
he's
each
next
other.
to Polaris, he gets +1 attack because there's this big thing with adjacent brothers and sisters in the set. So they're like, okay. When Havoc makes a ranged combat attack targeting an opposing character and has a direct line of fire, the area of effect for the attack includes all other characters occupying squares adjacent to the squares the line of fire passes through. The target is dealt damage normally, and each other hit character is dealt 1 penetrating damage.
Jesus.
That's 1 penetrating damage.
So basically, he has a 3 square wide beam.
Yes.
When he shoots and makes an attack. And he has Psychic Blast with that too, with 3 damage. So he can Running Shot, Psychic Blast the target he's shooting at for 3, and then anybody who's in those squares on either side of his beam take 1 penetrating.
Yep.
It's really, really nice.
He's a good piece. He's very well designed. 7 clicks, 81 points, has a 3 damage with Pensai and Running Shot. He's good.
And then his last 3 clicks, he gets Pulse Wave and Outwit. Pulse Wave and Willpower. Running Shot, Pulse Wave, Willpower.
Leadership.
I love picking up Pulse Wave late game.
Yes, sir.
And I think this guy's a great secondary attacker. The Brotherhood are kind of limited right now. They don't have a ton of options. And he's one of the better, cheap, easy to fit on your team at 81 points secondary attackers.
You probably got 8 of them and you don't even know it.
Yeah. And then last is a piece that may have slipped by your attention, that even slipped by my attention until I had played him a couple times to really learn to really appreciate this dude. And it's M10-015 Magneto.
Not the Under the Dome Magneto.
This is the House of M suit Magneto. He's 113 points, 8 range, 11 attacks, 17 impervious leadership, and then 3 clicks of Pulse Wave. And he promotes into the massive 250 point Magneto.
Captain Dome Magneto.
Captain Dome. So the cool thing about this guy is you only pay 113 points for him. and you keep him at max range at 8 range.
Yeah.
Let him run and shot, hit a couple shots. He has impervious to protect himself. He has leadership, so he can carry another brotherhood of mutants. He's got leadership to help the rest of your team. You keep him at max range, land a couple shots, and wait for that chance to promote into a full 250-point piece. Because he promotes onto top dial. He's same click number.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go right onto that, if you can keep this guy max range, which I've managed to do a couple times, you just got 112 or 113 to 250, so 135 point promotion. Like, it's nuts. The Magneto he promotes into gets running shot, pulse wave, and Quake as well, and then it gets this special little debris tokens that can be put onto it and off of it that basically makes you take mystics when you hit them.
Yep.
It's really, really good. I initially didn't think that this 015 Magneto was that good until I played him a couple times and really managed to take great advantage of his range and that promotion mechanic. So I really felt like I needed to mention him. And then I want you to wrap us up with a new keyword that, for one, I was scared they wouldn't even print in Wolverine and the X-Men, and not only did they print it, they made basically every character you and I could have wanted in this Wolverine and the X-Men set.
God,
and that is X Factor.
Okay, so first off, we got Longshot, who we've already talked about, but let me tell you again, guy's good. Second, Shatterstar. Okay, so Shatterstar's been making some waves in the meta lately.
He's already gotten changed.
So
now when you use his X-Portal trait, once per game you give him a power action, choose a lower point friendly character than you, and place you and that character anywhere on the map. However, now the character that you carry with you cannot make a non-free action.
So
it's still really good.
It's still really
He's
good.
still getting anywhere on the map once per game. Whether you use that defensively to get somebody the hell out of dodge back to your medic, or whether you use that offensively to get across the map behind somebody and then next turn, slap the crap out of them.
Yeah, but Blades, Claws, Fangs, Flurry, and Charge with an ability to get in. It's just
nuts.
He's nuts.
You know what's great about him is he's basically a secondary attacker with a near broken trait.
Yep.
That's why he's so good.
That is.
And then late down he picks up that Blades exploit.
Yeah, man.
With side.
And you're always getting Blades with this guy because he's got a 2
Why
damage.
not? Flurry and Blades.
He's got a 2 damage value, so you're like, all right, Blades 6, Blades 6, they're dead.
Blades 420 all day.
That's right, error day.
What about the core of Jamie Madrox, the main man,
the leader, if you will? He's the leader. His piece is ridiculous. He gets copies.
Yes. You pay $75 for the first one,
and then
you bring along a lot of 25-point versions with you. Now you can pay as many as you want at 25 after that. You don't have to play any at all. But the cool thing is, like you said, he creates dupes when you hit him, and the attack power shows. So you only need to hit him for 2 or more. However much damage he took, he spits out that many 25-point dupes adjacent to him.
He also gets a Mysterio-esque Perplex instead of Outwit. He doesn't he get Empower? Is that the?
That's the other one, the Gravity Feed one. This guy's better. I've played both versions now. I talked about this guy last week, or maybe it was this week with me and Austin. I played this guy on my X Factor team at GP, and he paid off. I tied up a Thor, that AVX Thor, who could running shot energy explosion my whole team turn 1. So I rushed up, tied him up, and he was like, I'll just send in my Valkyrie to hit you and wipe that multiple man off the face of the map. Hits him for 4, spit out 4 Jamies. Now the Thor can't even get around all the Jamies to get to my team. It was nuts. He killed 6 Jamies that I didn't even bring into the game. Like, I produced that many. And then he's got that cool power on his movement that helps him do it longer.
Yeah.
you give him the free action and you knock out an adjacent friendly multiple man, and you heal that multiple man of 1. So, and then you can switch places with the multiple man. So, like you said, you got the Mysterio effect going on.
Yes.
And then he's got leadership on top of that, so he can clear tokens off the little 25-point versions. Really, really fun piece to play too.
Yes, sir.
And Top Dialy's got Flurry with the 17 reflexes. He can hold his own. And then you got the 209 Jean Grey, also has the X Factor, like I said. One thing to note, another reason I really like her for X Factor teams, most, if not all of the X Factors except like M, do not fly.
Yeah.
So she can carry them, and she carries 3 people when she does. And she supplies long range, which a lot of the, even Longshot, who's the best ranged
doesn't
option,
have
a long range. So I really like this Jean Grey a lot. If you can, if you haven't noticed by now,
she's great.
And then I want you to talk about the big bruiser version of the X Factor team.
Miss Saint Croix,
Crotch,
Miss Saint Crotch. Anyway, she's a big bruiser piece. She gets dabbles of hypersonic, but she starts with the 12 charge, super strength, invincible, with outwit and perplex. She's the big beater that strong guys should be.
Yep. And she has the 200-point version and the 150-point version. And if you start the 200-point version, you get traded willpower.
Oh, yeah, you get traded willpower.
And she gets that healing power later, too.
Yeah, she's pretty sexy.
I haven't got to play her yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Shout out Strong Guy.
And, Top Dial, you get the outwit and perp, too.
Oh, yeah, you
do. For 200 points.
Yeah.
So she can hit pretty damn hard with outwit, super strength, perplex. Think about perping that damage up again, plus the heavy object, and then outwitting their defense, hitting them for 7.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's a little good.
Pretty good.
7 damage, Pretty
good.
That'll only KO pretty much every piece.
Shout out Strong Guy.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to include Strong Guy, but I thought M was a lot better. You know
well,
what I mean?
she is, but Strong Guy's deceptively good.
Exactly, I agree. If you want to pick one up, he's only going to cost you like 50 cents.
But not even that. I'll give you one.
Send us a letter. You pay postage.
I'll send you one.
We'll send you a Strong Guy.
You can't play an X Factor team without a Strong Guy. I'm letting you know this right now. He's just...
Well, why don't you talk about him since you love him so much?
So his whole thing is that he absorbs damage. And that when he takes damage from an attack, he can use Battle Fury, Giant Reach, and he increases his combat values by the amount of damage taken until the end of your next turn. Remember that one game we played? It was like a 4-way battle royal. Austin was playing like zombies, and you guys were playing Big Bruiser. Strong Guy was my MVP.
Strong Guy lived through the whole thing.
Yes, yeah. He just pooped on everybody.
He did. Austin kept pegging him for 2 or 3 at a time. I'm like, you idiot! You're just making him stronger.
You make Strong Guy strong. He gonna hit you. Richter's a fun piece, but he's not.
He's not worthy of me mentioning. I like him too. So the cool thing about all these X Factor pieces, aside from him, they're all like a quarter.
Yeah, they're all. I played an X Factor team. I just put it together and it was fun.
Jean Grey will run you about $3, $4 to she's some gravity feed. M will run you about 10 or less since she's a super rare. The rest of these guys are a quarter or 50 cents. Yeah. Same with Brotherhood.
Yeah.
You've got the Magneto from the M10, and if you want to pick up his promotion too, those together will cost you $20 or less. But then the rest of those guys cost you a quarter.
Yeah.
Spiral maybe a couple bucks. The Defenders were also really cheap, all in at like common ones. One Defender I just noticed I forgot to mention. And I do want to bring him up because we haven't talked about him for a while.
I know who you're talking about.
I apologize for missing it earlier. I'm going to go back to Defenders, and I want to bring up Gravity Feed Doctor Strange of Galactic Guardians, number 206. Now, we have a lot of experience with this dude.
Yes.
For 75 points, he gives adjacent friendlies Energy Shield, and he has Perplex on top of that. So that's the main thing you use him for at first, is phasing, carrying, and then giving Energy Shield to however many people around him you want to put.
Yep.
He's basically the core piece on Defend Ball teams.
Yes.
You either want him or you want the Amazing Spider-Man.
You get to do some
Doctor Strange.
You get some cool stuff going with Defend, and
energy shield.
Yeah,
And then if you can add hindering on top of that on the right map, all your guys are +3.
Yep.
But you do have to worry about an energy explosion.
You do. It's a big worry.
As I taught Harry very quickly.
Yeah.
Energy explosion force blast.
But then again...
if you can't even hit the numbers that you need, then...
You could be upwards of a 20.
Yeah. Well, the way Harry had it was a 23 because of the Ant-Man.
Oh my gosh.
And actually, I did that at Comic Book University a couple months ago. I did that basically Harry's same team.
Yeah.
Except I didn't have Centurion.
He's a core defend ball team.
But this guy will run you about $10 or less. Well worth it.
He's definitely worth it.
Dude, we used to see him every week.
Yes, he's nuts, man.
When Galactic Guardians came out, everybody was about that 206 Doctor Strange.
Yeah, man.
So
I got like 3 of them.
I hope that gives you guys, especially new players, some ideas of what pieces to pick up if you want to play some Marvel theme teams. Granted, like I said, this isn't all the good options for those keywords. These are just pieces that are cheap money-wise and are ones that fit easily onto different variations of teams. That's why we want to include them and make you guys aware of them, especially, like I said, new players who weren't around for Galactic Guardians and weren't around for the anniversary set or didn't at least not pay a whole lot of attention to it. And around for Chaos War. That sounds crazy, but I mean, it has actually been a while since Chaos War came out.
It's been about a year.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
So, man, that makes me feel old.
I know, right? I don't know why that makes us feel old, but it does. We're gonna have to do like Drew and Hunter's Silver Age Corner one day. Pick our favorite Silver Age pieces.
We should bring Scott in for that episode.
Yeah, we should.
The OG.
OG Scott, OG Loke. Robin.
Let's go to community section. Question this week, and I'll let you answer too.
Yeah.
What was your favorite 2013 comic book movie? We had Thor, Kick-Ass 2, we had R.I.P.D., we had Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
What? There's one more I'm forgetting. Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's it. Now, have you seen all of those?
I've seen most.
What did you think was the best?
Thor: The Dark World.
Most people agreed with you. In fact, I would venture to say a good 80% of people agreed with you.
Yeah. What'd you say? Because I know you ain't seen Thor yet.
I haven't seen Thor yet, and I said Man of Steel.
That would have been my choice if I hadn't seen Thor, but I saw Thor.
I'm sure Thor is better because I hear nothing but amazing things about it. So I'll be seeing it very soon. I really don't know why more people don't like Wolverine. That's the other one I was forgetting.
Oh, still.
I don't know why more people don't like Man of Steel. I thought it was
I liked it.
Very well crafted movie.
It was one of the best Superman movies
the Superman movie
it was the
best. There have not been good Superman movies, really.
You gotta understand, and you gotta look at this from a perspective. Superhero movies have not always been. I know we're spoiled by the Marvel movie universe, but
and the Batman series too, but as I said, most people said Thor 2, and then Man of Steel and Wolverine were kind of tied for second. I liked Wolverine a lot. I think we talked about it in the podcast.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think Austin's seen it either, but I really did. It was surprisingly good, and the fact that it was in Japan and that it dealt with Silver Samurai and some of his classic storyline characters.
Yeah.
It kind of got to his roots, you know what I mean? And it was kind of cool to be away from the whole X-Men, side of things. And it was really cool look at Wolverine. I really enjoyed that movie as well. Dial design. We have not given our grades out yet for week 2. The assignment was to give us a morph dial. But I want to bring up a couple that I liked the best so far. Have you gotten a chance to look through many of these yet?
I've been really busy.
A couple of the highlights I like really well so far.
I like this one.
Aberrant Reborn did a Shang-Chi, who's a big Avengers character right now, kind of coming back into the limelight.
Which is good.
has some really... Basically, he morphs fighting styles.
Yeah.
See, on each style, he has different powers. Like, he has Tiger style, he has, like, Charge and Blades. And then Nunchucks, he has Sidestep and Flurry. And, like, Drunken Monkey, he gets some other crazy stuff. And I thought that was a really cool idea. I actually wouldn't have thought about doing like a fighting style version. You could do that with Iron Fist as well.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. Another one that I really, really liked, a Dial H. Morph mechanic even starts off with Robbie Reed. And then goes into all these random, like...
He's got human starfish.
Yeah, all these crazy ideas, which are really...
I wish he would have got some of the... higher power ones, but these are good.
Since it's morph, he's trying to stay around the same point value, but these are great. That's a great idea, and it's funny, I didn't even think about Dial H.
But it is the perfect one.
It is the exact, morph. I can't believe I didn't think about that.
I know, me either.
So big ups to you, and the dials actually look pretty cool, too. And then there was one other one that I really liked. Have you read Invincible yet?
Yeah.
So, one guy did a robot.
Did he?
Yeah, you can switch between the suits. So, you got the standard robot. Then you got the brute, the big, the one that he goes into whenever he goes into battle, or he controls when he's in battle.
Yeah.
And then the Sky Cycle version.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's really cool. They all play differently. They're all at the 100-point range. And that's a really cool idea, too. I wouldn't have thought about that either. So it's awesome to see the things you guys come up with. We'll get those grades to you very soon. Drew, do you want to go ahead and give out the Week 3 assignment? You can do whatever the heck you want. You can do any kind of character choice you want, or you can do what I did and pick a mechanic for people to include. However you want to do it.
Damn, Hunter.
Is there any...
I completely forgot.
That's all right.
All right, let's see here. Since we did a morph, we might... Give me an alter ego.
All right, we can do that.
Let's get in that alter ego.
I'll put it on the...
I know there's
thread.
there's a good amount of alter ego figs, but I don't. They haven't been shown it in any level.
Well, alter ego is also really fun because how many characters are there that exist in comics that WizKids hasn't made alter egos for yet?
Seriously.
I mean, hell, I really thought in Invincible Iron Man, that we were going to get a War Machine alter ego.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we talked when we said
we did get Happy Hogan into free.
That's true, but that's not the one I saw coming.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I didn't think. I thought we'd get a War Machine. So
yeah.
So that'll be Week 3.
I'm not gonna tell him the one I really want, but I'll tell you the one I really want after this.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see if it gets
shows
made.
up.
I'm sure Swagnito will somehow figure it out because he's a gamer. That one.
Yeah, Swagnito, it's DC Universe.
He's
so
sneaky.
You probably won't. I mean, you'll get it.
We want to talk about Best Build because we'll be playing it this coming Saturday. We already picked our teams.
Yes, sir.
I had Spidey Swing's team from Gmail. And if you guys weren't aware of the Best Build, it was 300 points. Every figure has to be either red or green. That includes their dials. So, like the Spider-Man, Iron Man chases are fine. Hulk chases are fine. It's modern, 300 points figures only. And I have 20 relics all assigned numbers. And before each match, each player is given a random relic. And there's +2 to all relic rolls. And some of them are really good. Some of them are really crappy. There's a globe of ultimate knowledge in there that is not worth jack crap. There's a rebreather in there that is not going to help you if you're not on a water map. But there's also a flame blast ring and a Mjolnir and crazy stuff.
Yep.
So you're.
By the way, +2 to Mjolnir is nuts.
That's exactly what my thinking was. So it's going to be really fun, and it adds a lot of randomness factor to it since it's a Christmas event.
Yes, sir.
Now the teams we picked, I chose Spidey Swing, who has Holiday Elf, Pandora, Nightwing, the main set Batman, who I really, really love, and a Captured Warbot and a Damaged Warbot, which I didn't think about Pogs because both of those guys are basically robots that are all green, if you check them out. So
they are very festive.
So yeah, we'll go with that too. Pogs are fine as long as they're red or green. You picked Pupil Surfer, who we've used his teams before.
No, that was Austin.
Oh, sorry, Austin picked Pupil Surfer. I think you guys have each used his team once before.
Yeah.
It's Green Lantern Batman, Teen Titans Green Lantern at 110, an Army Private Pog, and 2 captured Warbot Pogs. And then we have you picked Ruroni. I never know how to pronounce his name.
Ruroni
or Ruruni. KJS, who also submits dial design contests to us, and it is Kali Misty Duo from Amazing Spider-Man, Mr. Unknown from the Batman set, and Incredible Hulk Daredevil at 75, the main set version, which I think you used to play him when we played home games a long time ago. That was one of your dudes. And Wong too. So
Mighty Wong.
He can do power action perplex and stuff like that. So that'd be a fun team. What was it about that team that kind of caught your attention?
Daredevil and Misty.
Just the Daredevil that you used to play all the time?
Yeah, I love that Daredevil.
I picked Spidey Swing's team.
Also, I want to see if Mr. Unknowns is really bad as he looks.
Well, I played him on a Batman Inc. team one time, and he's actually pretty good.
Is he?
He's a good tie-up. He's like, I think he's traded Leap Climb, and then he has combat reflexes.
And Hunter just dropped him off the face
He's
of the
broken. We can't.
He's broke. I'm gonna have to choose a new team. I choose Hunters.
I chose Spidey Swings because, for one, I've been wanting to play Holiday Elf a lot.
Yeah, I really wanted.
And for two, I appreciated the construction because Holiday Elf's a wild card, and with Pandora you have Mystics,
so yes.
And with Nightwing you have Stealth.
Yes.
So I can give the elf whatever he needs, and also a lot of the relics are range based.
Yeah.
So you have the elf can pick up any of those.
Oh, don't tell me Electroblast is in there.
Oh yeah, it's in there.
Oh no.
Now, since it's luck factor, I'm not going to get matched up with it, so you don't have anything to worry about.
By the way, Mr. Unknown's got cool costume.
Holiday Elf is probably going to get the rebreather once or twice.
I hope he does.
Oh, on my luck.
Let's hope Holiday
Austin
Elf
will get Mjolnir every time, or Flame Blast, or whatever good I have in there. We had a message on our Facebook that it was more of a question, and I thought it was actually an interesting concept, and I told him I would bring it up on the podcast. He has a question: would stores make more money? Oh, this is from William Holland on Facebook. Thanks for writing to us, William. He has a question: would stores make more money if they sold common, uncommon, rares, super rares at the store? As mainly he's talking about CURs, or I call them cures. So he could pack it. Would stores think of it in the terms of
Magic?
Let's think about GP.
Oh, GP.
Would GP make more money buying a bunch of boosters themselves, cracking them, sorting them out, and putting them into common, uncommon, rare packs and selling that for like $50 or whatever they want to sell it for, or selling individual boosters? What would we think about that? And then selling the super rares and the chases individually, like on in the case, like they do with Magic cards sometimes.
Yeah, it really depends on your seat.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Game Preserve does sell separate single clicks. However,
I don't think they've been selling.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean have they been? People actually been buying them? No, because the prices are a little bit high.
Oh.
But the thing is, those are also not ones that they open themselves from their own product that they buy. Those are more trade-in stuff. Like you can trade into store credit, and then people can buy. Buy them.
I'm going to say yes. Actually,
they don't do it on a large scale. Would they make more money?
I'm going to say
possibly.
I'm going to say yes because, okay, you order a bunch of product for your own store. You crack packs. You got commons, uncommons, rares. You put super rares and chases in the case. You order more product to sell for sealed, for people who want pre-orders, and if they don't get what they want out of those boxes, they can buy it from your case. But you're going to have to put it at a decent price because...
Yeah, but then, the negative side to that is...
if the set's not really selling a whole lot...
Yeah, that's true. The thing I was thinking about is... already giving people the common, uncommon rares. Like for me, that's all I usually want anyways. So I would have bought a bunch of boosters playing seals or picking up one here and there. If I could easily buy the cure for just $30.
Yeah.
I would just do that and be done, and I wouldn't be spending any more money at your venue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would be really interesting. If you guys know of any store that only does that, they don't sell boosters. They just crack, spread, and sell the pieces. Then let us know. It's a very interesting concept. Now I know a lot of places do that for Magic.
Yeah, like that's how they get business is they crack packs and then
Yep. So. But my thing also was, I'm not sure how WizKids would feel if they found out about that, because they're kind of weird sometimes.
They are definitely kind of weird. WizKids, shout out, you're weird.
So I'd be interested to see what they think about that as well.
Collusion.
we had a message on our email from Ray Anderson.
I've never seen an email.
It's apparently electronic mail, and you write a message on an electronic device, and then it goes to like an invisible mailbox. It's pretty crazy.
That is insane.
I'm pretty sure it was invented a few weeks ago. And let me find our Ray Anderson, who has wrote to us before. He has a email that says, clearly over the last couple of months the market's been flooded. Mage Knight, Arkham Origins, Dota, AVX, Hobbit, Dark World, Iron Man, and he's like, I'm sure I missed one somewhere. I personally don't see this as bad, quote unquote, as more product is always welcome. I do, however, see the struggles in being able to get all of it. I'm a poor man myself and had to choose which sets to leave behind. In my case, I chose to buy a case of Iron Man, CTD of Origins, the Dota, and Mage Knight starters. I bought a couple packs of Thor and was able to trade for much of the set. My question to you is this: when there are months of flooded releases, what do you do? Do you save up throughout the year so that you're ready to get it all? Or do you limit to certain releases and try to get the full sets? Do you buy a little of everything and hope for the best? Are you secretly a billionaire who buys factory sets with tip money? And this whole conversation is a waste of your time? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the issue. It's going to be different for both of us, and I'll let you go first.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be different for both of us. My monetary income is definitely not huge. It was really difficult deciding what I wanted to buy, and I settled on Mage Knight. Mainly due to the fact that, A, I could probably trade some stuff if there was something I really, 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 really wanted. And, B, it's just so much stuff.
It was a huge amount of sets came out too freaking fast.
AVX.
For Christmas, of course.
AVX was kind of mandatory for me.
Yeah. For everybody, pretty much.
And you missed Lord of the Rings.
That's what he forgot.
And it's just... I wanted Lord of the Rings, but it was like, well, Andrew, you gotta make a choice. Mage Knight or Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
And, I mean...
I used to collect every piece of every set. Actually, I say used to. I currently am. That is not an expensive thing. Sorry, that's not a cheap thing to do. Now, I make pretty good money, but I have a lot of bills. I'm trying to help my fiance finish off her school loans. And also, I just spent $2,000 at the dentist.
Yeah, I heard it.
That in work that's currently going on. If you guys think I sound kind of funny and off today and over the last few weeks, and probably for the next couple months, it's because my mouth is in distress. And I had a root canal earlier this week. I've had 2 teeth replaced. I've had 6 fillings. I have to get my wisdom teeth pulled pretty soon. It's a mess. So now that I've had to spend $2,000 on my mouth, I'm really cutting down on my clicks.
Yeah.
Now, I already limit myself spending-wise. I only get so much spending money each month. But now that this is cut down, I'm going to cut down even more on my actual spending money.
If you're limited like I am and like Hunter is now, my best advice is to just stay away from sealed product as much as you can.
Oh, I do that even when I am collecting, especially when I'm collecting.
It's just, I feel like I have never wasted so much, I don't know. I like WizKids and I like supporting them, but they're getting a bit ridiculous with these prices.
I agree. The fact that boosters are now at MSRP $12.95 freaking stupid.
It was like what?
You know that the cost of production for them has not increased.
Because you can tell, because I can understand. Like, look at the sculpts on Mage Knight and then look at the sculpts on Iron Man. They're nowhere near
comparable.
Yeah. It's just...
They basically raised the price just to make more profit. Like, there was no necessity in raising the price.
Yeah.
There was, and then raising the gravity feeds prices too. I mean, we are lucky that our venue prices things a little cheaper than MSRP. If we were paying MSRP prices, I would barely be buying anything.
Yeah, seriously.
And we're also lucky that two of our main two venues we play in both do prizes, $5 buy-in prizes on most weeks.
That's a way.
And so you can crack open the packs, pick ahead of time what you need. So it's easier and cheaper than buying blind product.
Yeah.
You know, if I buy 10 boosters or 10 single packs and get a bunch of dupes, whereas if I'm slowly picking them through prizes, I can get the things that I need and not to do double up on stuff.
Yeah.
So I still am trying to get every piece. Also, another good thing is I have a couple friends who always buy too much. So they always have, for instance, I got basically the whole entire common, uncommon, rare of Iron Man for free.
Yeah, they were just throwing stuff at me.
I mean, there's a bag full of it right there.
Yeah.
And then I go through, and for now, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to pick up, pieces here and there. The pieces that I really, really want that I know I will actually play, or that I might even want to build like legit meta-wise teams for big tournaments, I'm going to buy or preferably trade for, like Silver Centurion.
Yeah.
Both of those war machines I'd like to get my hands on. But then again, there's I don't really care about Prime Hyperion.
Yeah. He's
a pricey piece. I probably would only play him a couple times, so I'm going to skip out on him. Yeah. But King Hyperion, I know I'll play him. I got lucky enough to get him in prizes one day.
Yeah.
But the Iron Man chases, I'm going to pick up a Paladin and a Pharaoh because I will actually play them.
Yeah.
So, and I think they're great pieces. So, whereas last set I wanted every single chase, I wanted every single piece. So, it's kind of an evolving thing for us personally.
It definitely is.
But that big flood that you mentioned, Ray, really changed things for me personally.
Definitely me too.
And I still have yet to pick up the Dota starter, and don't know if I will. Although that map is so awesome.
It's pretty sick.
I was hoping you were going to pick it up. I was like, I
just don't want to spend $40.
I know, $40. I tell you what you should do. Wait, and it'll be like $10 on cool stuff.
I know,
in a couple months.
Yeah. Because it didn't sell enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't sell enough, it'll be cheap as hell on there.
I'm a big Dota 2 fan.
There are a lot of Arkham Origin pieces that I still need to get a hold of.
Yeah, I got Deadshot the other day.
You did? Do you have dupes of them?
No.
Damn.
I'll trade.
I got to get my hands on a Deadshot. So, anyways, thanks for the questions, you guys. If anyone else would like to send us questions, comments, feedback on the show, you can catch us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. You'll get the fan votes every week. You'll get announcements about the podcast when the podcast is out. And you can also, like I said, send us personal messages on Facebook. Same with Twitter.
Yep.
And Gmail. We are dialh4heroclix at gmail.com. You guys want to message us on there. However you prefer to do your social media these days. Hit us up.
We're everywhere.
You can't. I always say you can't get away from us.
We're gonna be there.
You can go to any random thing and type in dial H for Heroclix.
We're the only one.
You can find it. YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel.
Check it out.
I have the first 10 episodes of the podcast up. I will slowly but surely be adding all of the episodes on there in video form. If you have trouble downloading the audio version, or maybe at your work you can only get the YouTube version.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know some people prefer the YouTube version, so I want that option to be on there. First 10 are already up. The next ones will be up there eventually.
What episode is this?
Doing well. This is 23?
23! Guys, 23 weeks.
Is that not nuts?
That is nuts to butts. Let me tell you what.
It's crazy. Yeah, so check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, and I have 3 review videos on there. Hobbit, Desolation of Smog, Mage Knight, and the AVX starters. I do very in-depth reviews where I literally break down every piece, talk about why it's good, why it's bad, and also give it scores. And on the Mage Knight and the Lord of the Rings, not only did I give it a score for Silver Age, I gave it a score for those clicks in general. Like,
that's in depth right there, folks.
It really was. Lord of the Rings, I said, this is good in Lord of the Rings because of this, but it's not so good in Silver Age because this. I mean, I really broke it down. Like I said, I'm also going to do those rules videos, and you and Austin can do those with me.
All right.
Where we take a piece that has a lot of rules questions, like Silver Centurion.
Silver Centurion.
Now, we're going to wait till he gets errated before we do it.
Because you know it's coming.
So, once he gets errated, we'll use him for an example. We take him, and we do a video showing, okay, this is how the token works. And if you step on it at this moment in time, it will do this, and this. You would, even though the token's here, you have to draw a line of fire to the Silver Centurion. You know what I mean? Like pieces that have a lot of questions like that.
Yeah.
We'll do reader requests. If you want to comment on the videos and say, hey, I would love for you to do one on X piece.
Just feel
free.
free.
We'll do it for that.
Yes, we will.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's an amazing idea.
And actually, a listener gave us that idea, and I cannot remember for the life of me who it was.
Well, he's a genius.
That guy's a genius.
Yeah, I like you, whoever you are.
I will find his name on.
We're gonna find you.
The past episode. So
we're gonna find you and shake your hand.
Thanks for tuning in with us this week. We will absolutely require Austin to be on the podcast next week.
It's not voluntary. It's mandatory.
I was gonna say, this is an optional.
It is.
We're like a gang.
We are like a gang.
You know, when you join this gang,
you can't bitch out.
There's no way to back out. There's the grave.
There's the grave.
There's no door. There's just the grave.
I was making money. That's why I wasn't on. Austin's at home.
Probably playing Pokemon.
Probably. Imagine that.
Playing some computer game.
We're going to get another email about how we ate Austin.
Who cares?
We don't care.
Anyways, thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we're going to talk about the state of the meta now that the watch list is out. And some new pieces that came out in Iron Man and some other sets. Talk about what to look out for.
It's better.
It'll be a very interesting conversation.
Meta's better.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about why next week. Until then, I will see you guys in about 6 or 7 days, I guess.
7. See ya.